all
Yes,
right.
yes, 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 yes. We on. We are on. We are on. Welcome to the Intellectual Smitty's Corner. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Y'all see the title, How Does Society View Black Men? Got my man here, Smitty. Smitty, man, what's going on? What's good?
Respect. All right. Um, so yes, how does society view black men is a portion of the segment, but more importantly, the main part that I want to get to is, basically what the first question is. So, but on this note, first though, I want to say welcome everybody, whoever's in the building. I appreciate you all for coming through. Respect to you, right? So one thing that I've noticed, and the reason why I decided to do this live tonight is because I'm peeping how a lot of us are really, honestly, let's just be honest, okay? A lot of us are really misguided, and a lot of us are going a lot of places. We go a lot of places really, really fast with no certain destination and or purpose, right? And I've been trying to just kind of get and wrap my mind around where's all this coming from. So then I just started kind of really paying attention to the different aspects of what we would call the black community, right? Some would say there is none, right? But if I'm taking time and I look at everything that I see going on right now, everything that's going on, I then say to myself, well, what are we missing? What are we lacking? Right? And so that basically brings me to the leadership of the community. What does that really look like? We're at the forefront of it. I don't know these things because I'm not really seeing where there's much more of a benefit for us as opposed to continuous repercussions for us, right? And so all I want is for us to be the best that we can be, right? But I don't see that being able to take place as long as we continuously do not look at the focal point of what is taking place in the community, right? All right. People have seen a lot of stuff, right? People have seen a whole lot of things, all the way from everyday BS to actual gruesome stuff. And I'm saying that to say that I do believe a large part, as well as why we are so discombobulated, is because there is really, truly a lot of trauma out here. I was really shocked, like even just dating. Just for example, I was shocked to realize how many women were abused. Like they always got that story to tell me, and it's like a normal thing. And you know what's crazy? A lot of them come out thinking that this is the first time I'm hearing this. And I don't never shame nobody about things like that. But I'm saying to myself, why is that so rampant? So these are all the things that I really kind of want to tap into and more. And I also want to make sure that we look at and we break down what really causes the destruction of a civilization. What takes place before it? What signs do you see? What's going on when an entire civilization is crumbling? Right? Now, some would say back during ancient times in Africa, Egypt, places like that, we were a massive civilization of high rank throughout the world. Something one day happened, and that is no longer the case. Places like this are almost kind of like third worldish. Now, what happened to the power? What happened to the infrastructure? What took place as to why these things fell apart? And are we repeating history? Is history repeating itself? I don't know. I don't know. That's where you guys come in on that part, right? So I'm not too sure because I don't have all the answers. But I do know that from my observation, what I'm seeing is we're lacking leadership. Now, if somebody knows who's really in that position, come on up, let me know, talk to me, not about me. The lines are open. But with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. What you got on that piece, so?
Man, listen, you know what I mean? As always, man, you know what I'm saying? I got to take a quick pause for the cause. I see the peoples are in the building and in the chat, right? Let me give a shout out to my man M3. M3 was good. So salute family. Also salute to Lady Phoenix. You know what I mean? She's giving a shout out to everybody. Also, I got my man, Gray Pill, up in the building. You know what I mean? So how to society view black men? I personally do not care. I lose sleep if I do. Okay. Gray Pill has a lot to say in the comments. Gray Pill, you know where the link is at. You see it pinned in the chat, brother. If you want to come up, please feel free to do so. You know what I'm saying? And build on what you think. You know what I mean? So blessings all to our music curator, Von Eric. You know what I'm saying? So that fresh music you hear in the background, that's by that man, Mr. Von Eric. You know what I mean? Gray Pill, giving his perspective. Okay. Shout out to Rollo the Ruler. What's going on, brother? Salute, much love. You know what I mean? Gray Pill says 0.1% of insecurity of that community. There's others. Okay. And he's asking what kind of stuff. Hey, you know what I mean? If you want to ask Gray Pill, like I said, the link is right in the chat, baby. You can come on up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I have a couple questions for anybody, who wants to come on up and participate with it. So, if you want to go ahead and partake, feel free. But now, what's your take on that so far, though?
I mean, I think there's a lot of misconceptions. There's also a lot of things that are being forced upon us that we don't look at things at work. Okay, salute. You know what I mean? Definitely get your grind on, you get your shine on. I feel you. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that's going on, man, that happens when it comes to how society views us, right?
Right.
And I think a lot of things we don't get to choose a lot of times our image, and when we do get to choose our image, right? Oh, I got my brother Ruthless Truth in the building. Yes, sir. Know what I'm saying? I like the green, brother. I like the green. You know what I mean? I like the shades. Love it, OG. You know what I mean? I'm glad you're up here.
What's up?
Man, chilling. But I'm gonna get my perspective real quick and I'm gonna let you rock. Yeah, so a lot of things are indoctrinated on us. A lot of things we are force fed. A lot of things we are, basically told that we need to believe or we need to act like. You know what I mean? We come up with urban communities, you know what I mean? We got to act cool. And if in order to act cool, sometimes we got to do things that are not the most positive, right? Mm-hmm. So we understand this, you know what I mean? While other communities, they chase education, they chase careers, they chase money, and they chase generational wealth, right? We're told that we just need to be cool and be the coolest nigga on the block. You know what I mean? And be the roughest nigga on the block. Not to build generational wealth, not to take care of our families, none of that. Not to own multiple homes and properties, right? This is what we say manhood is about, right? So the thing is that, we have to change that so that we are putting ourselves ahead of the curve. It's a game out here. So you're either gonna be ahead of the game or the game is gonna manipulate you. That's just really what it is. You know what I mean? And if you don't grind, then you really won't survive. And that's really all to it. But we have to really put our history out here, our real history, not the history that people are telling us that we are, but we got to really have an understanding of what our real history is and actually do the research on it. Now, I mean, don't be lazy. Do your research and find out what who you are and what you really need to be out here doing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I know you got a question, Smitty, so I'm listening.
No, I was just wondering, so when you say our real history, so would you say that schools do not teach us the real history?
Almost definitely they don't. You know what I'm saying? And that's on purpose. You know what I mean? If you want a people to be lost, you don't teach them who they are. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like if you're driving and you're trying to get to your destination. You know what I mean? If I want you to get lost and you don't know where you're going, I give you wrong directions.
So what was all that we learned? What was all that like? I don't know, like 1st through 12th or something. What was all that? Why do they do that to us? You know what I'm saying?
That 1st through 12th is basically to condition us, man. You know what I mean? It's social engineering, social conditioning.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if I can socially engineer and condition you, then I can basically control everything you're doing.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Control what you do, what you eat, how you spend your money in your community, and how your community is gonna grow. Because now, like I said, I indoctrinated you. I Willie lynched you. You know what I mean? I bamboozled you in certain terminology that you use, right? So I basically mind controlled you, and I got you to believe this is how you should live, right? I got you to believe this is what you should eat. I got you to believe this is what you should drink. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm going to my local store or my local corner store, and I'm trying to get something to drink. All they got is things that's gonna just bring down my health. Whether it's liquor, right? Whether it's soda, whether it's all these juices that have all these chemicals in it, right? But if I go to the other communities, right, they have organic this, they have fresh this, they have fresh that, they have a Whole Foods, they have a Sprouts, they have a this and that, right? I get associated, or Key Food, or any of this other stuff that ain't no good for me. You feel me? So that's what we get out here. You know what I mean? But I know we got my brother Ruthless Truth up here. I want him to definitely rock. You know what I'm saying? And definitely, Smitty, if you got anything else to partake on, we here.
No, man, let the brother on in the building, and respect to you. Thank you for pulling up. Go ahead, rock out.
So, you know, once upon a time, I'm gonna start out like this. Once upon a time, you know, I used to really have that type of mindset, you know, until I checked myself in the mirror. The crimes that I used to commit, the things I used to do with the homies and stuff, it was like my 40 acres of my community, white America, old me, right? And this was the fuel. I fueled myself to do things that, you know, were shortcuts, not maybe the most productive way to do things in like a citizen or anything. But once I caught my time and did all my time, and you know, within that time, I had time to really reflect on self values, right? And at the end of the day, I said, what the fuck is wrong with me? I can't blame nobody for my ambition or the things I want or the way I view things, right? Or the way I do things. So yeah, America has their little whatever they have, right? But I have my own perception and my own way of thinking, right? You know, growing up in school, I was taught to, you know, pretty much go get a job, work your way to the top, you know, play basketball, make it to the NBA maybe, you know. But you do it the right way. This is the best way. This was the system that was indoctrinated to me. But then once I seen some things that happened in my life, like where I seen somebody flash some money in front of me, and I'm like, damn, how you get that? So I ain't never see that much. And they tell me, oh, this is what we do. And I said, whoa, now this is what I was taught in school. This is not what my mama told me. This is not what my teachers told me, right? This was, damn, I need that. I want to be a part of that. So then I got crystallized and influenced, right, by the materialism, the things that I aspire for, but I can't afford. So then I took the shortcuts because I saw a quicker way to the top, which was not necessarily the correct way that I was taught under the American system or in my household, right? So as I'm sitting in a jail cell, first thing I had to do is, I said, I have to take accountability. I had to take accountability for my actions. I did this shit. I was on some gangster shit. I didn't give a fuck. And when I went in that courtroom, right, and sat before that judge, before he sentenced me, I said to myself, I don't give a fuck. Fuck America, right? Give me mine. I'm going to do mine. And we're going to be back in another time, right? That's how I wrote it. That's how that helped me carry through instead of pointing a finger at people and trying to put everything on everybody else. I just accepted this is the way I am. You know, my best friends, right? One's an accountant, one's a truck driver, right? And they're very successful. And they didn't go my route, right? They stuck to the plan. They stuck to the program, right? And they came in the same school and the same indoctrination I did, right? And I don't discourage them or talk down on them for doing it the right way, doing it the long way, right? So if people want to blame a system, of oppression, right? And people want to blame other people for their actions, because this is the problem we have with our women, right? Right? They're blaming us, right? Our man or leaders, right? Right? Man or leaders for their actions, for them being an OnlyFans account, or them out at the strip club hoeing, right? Or at the streets hoeing, or all the over talking, all the disrespect that we're gaining from our women. And the first thing when we try to hold them accountable, well, the man do it too, right? They blame it on us. They don't blame it on America like we do, right? Oh, y'all taught us this. They say, oh, the men are leaders. What's up? Well, then what about your accountability for your actions? Oh, well, I don't know what you're talking about. So if we're ever going to grow as a people and be in a place where or in a space where we're able to achieve a higher level of thinking, we have to first start in our house, right? And understand that we have to accept accountability for our actions and the things we do. And you can't point the finger. I mean, yeah, America has the atrocity. Yeah, we have a history of slave and all that shit. We know that. We know this is an evil country. Nobody's disputing that. But what I'm doing out here to get my money and what I'm doing to make a living is on me, right? I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. And I have to accept that. When they gave me that time, I didn't go around just beating up white people and talking shit to white people and blaming it on I hate y'all because I went into this place and got caught doing this. Or I'm gonna hate y'all. Man, y'all didn't give me a fair chance. Right? Right? So it's all about because I didn't have patience. It's all because I was inspired to do it, to take the shortcut, which was not the best cut. And all my friends, some of my friends around me have been very successful by doing it the long way. So bottom line, I'm landing the plane. Bottom line, all I'm saying is this. Yeah, America has their issues with the blacks, right? We always, that's never will be buried, right? There will always be a lingering, situation. But, right, there are a lot of black people that are successful in this country, that are doing well-to-do, right? And then there's other people who, they're doing the street thing and they were doing that. This is what they love, right? This is what they love to do. They love to kill other black people. They love to rob other black people. They love to gang bang on other, right? This is what they love to do. You can't blame America. You can't tell America, oh, well, we blaming you for we shoot each other. Yeah, we buying the guns and we going out and shooting up the block because that nigga making too much money to me, or he maybe a bitch I like him, right? All this shit that we beef over, the dumb shit, that's on us as a people. And I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother. You definitely let them have it on that shit. All right. Now, we got who we got in here? All right. We got Alonzo and we have Queen in here. All right. So I believe Alonzo, brother, you popped up first. Would you all like to just kind of give a quick input briefly, right? And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the questions that I have for the panel. And then we're going to go ahead and get this discussion going and get this video going a little bit after that. So what you got, bro?
All right, I'll try and keep this to a Reader's Digest point. But kind of piggybacking off of what the other brother was saying about us running to the streets and what Intellectual Soapbox was saying about black men not looking at things like generational wealth. One of the unfortunate things is most of the time when we go out there and be the dealers, we can't do nothing more than afford to re-up in a pair of sneakers or maybe a Mercedes one day, right? Mm-hmm. But nothing of it ain't a brand new Mercedes, it's a used Mercedes, right? But it also, December 10th, 2002, there's an article in the New York Times. The Colombian cocaine cartel, 5 men in the Colombian cocaine cartel got indicted for hiding $80 million of drug money in life insurance. But nobody told, Ruthless Truth about that type of stuff. Nobody told BMF about that type of stuff. Right? We have all these, I'm gonna pause there, but there's a lot that we don't even glorify. So I want to stick to what Ruthless was saying, and sometimes the slow way is important. It's important to have things like plants in your gang who are legitimate, who still have affiliation. But I'll pause there.
Okay. All right. Respect to that perspective. And I thank you so much for sharing that with us, my brother. It looks like we got Queen Tika in the building. Salute to you, sister. How are you?
Hello, fellas. Shout out to all the black men on the panel. You guys are important. So I just wanted to acknowledge that first. But I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. Only thing I want to add, and so we can, get to the questions, is that we definitely do have a lot of work to do as a culture.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here to value it, so I just want
That's
to keep
what's
going.
up.
Yeah,
That's what's up. Good stuff. Good stuff.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next segment of this show. So you want to go ahead and get us going, man? You want to read off question number one, and we'll go ahead and we will go around the room. Please, people, express yourself, break it down to us, and everything. But try to be mindful that we want to keep the show moving. We want to get other people around in the room too. So you want to go ahead and hit us with the first question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute to Queen Nita. I know this is the first time on the panel, so salute to you, sister. I'm glad you came up. Also salute to my man Lonzo Hall, my Brooklyn brother. You already know. You know what I mean? So the first question is: who are our leaders of today, and how are they benefiting the community?
Ruthless, it's on you, sir.
So I said, who are our leaders today? Who are our leaders of the benefit of the community?
Yeah.
There are different variables of leaders, right? Some good leaders like Lil Durk, Rap. They are leaders for the more, degenerate part of our community. Then there's football athletes, right? They're part of the athletic community. So all these different leaders.
Wait. I'm sorry. You said there were some athletes who are in the same category as our leaders?
No. There are leaders like LeBron James. Right? He's an indirect leader, right? Like a lot of blacks look up to him.
No. All right. So let me specify real quick, and then you go ahead and keep on rocking out. What I'm talking about when I say who are our leaders of today, I mean that in the sense of who are the Rosas, the Dr. Kings, the Fredericks, the Thurgoods, the Malcolms, you name them. Now, hey, no, it's there is no right or wrong answer to this. I just, when I say our leaders, I'm talking about real deal on that forefront, on the forefront. That's really, truly speaking. Our let's say our spokesman.
Oh, that's tough. That's a tough question.
That's why I thought of it. Respect. Go ahead, rock out, brother. You got it.
So here's the only thing, right? I'm just gonna lay this out because you have different people have different ways of life, right? You got some people in the religion, so their leaders could be Farrakhan, it could be a preacher or whatever, right? So everybody there's no one universal leader for our, particularly to the black community. There's no one really spokesman.
Every other group has it. Spanish, they got their leaders. Whites have theirs. Asians have theirs.
They have different leaders too, right? You got the Republicans that love Trump. You got the other Democrats that like Biden. You got other people that like other different people. They're divided too, just like we are. All communities are divided when it comes to the leaders, right? Because some people, it's where their money goes. Some people follow their money, right? Some people follow value, right? People follow the legacy for the children. And so everybody has a vested interest in the leader.
I ain't gonna hold you. You sound like a whole politician right now.
Yeah, the fact is no other community is in shambles like ours, regardless of who's here, who's there. For some reason, their stuff is intact for the most part. Not saying they don't have their issues too. But I digress. My mic is muted. You go ahead, finish up, Rufus. I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother. And then we're gonna go ahead and go to Lonzo next.
Actually, I like that you interrupted.
All right, respect.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to bridge a communication. Okay. But if I had to point a finger, right? If I had to point a finger, and I'm speaking for the black people, it would have to be Obama, right? So, that would be the most universally liked guy probably of all the black.
It's actually a good answer.
He's actually the epitome of the American dream for the black man in America, succeeding the highest level of life, beating the odds, right? So I would give probably for black people, a lot of black people, that would be the top number one leader, in my opinion, as far as being consistent and kind of representing us in a way that we like it to be represented, as far as the ethical part of it. I don't know about the laws and the all that other stuff, but right, because everybody has problems. Everybody has, Jesse Jackson, them, all them dudes, they all sold. So we ain't really going there. So yeah, I'm gonna say Obama. And how does he benefit the community? He gave Black people a sense of pride, a sense of dignity. A Black president, that was big in a way where we never thought we'd see something like that. Now, what the intentions were behind it, I don't care. That is what Black people were very. We took that home. We coveted that. You know what I mean? We coveted that to be that position, right? And amongst all the races, right, we're the first race outside of white to cover that position in our eyes, right? So that to me, and how that benefit the community, because a lot of people start striving. Oh man, shit, he can be president. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this. I can be all I can be. And I'm gonna leave it at that. You muted it, homie. You muted.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Lonzo. Do you need the question repeated?
No. I got it.
Okay, cool beans. All right, brother.
So in my opinion, it's a broad brush, but I'll narrow it. So I'd say entertainers, and specifically Jay-Z. Why? Because of certain moves he makes. One of the things that our community has to realize is that politics is played in pockets, not in the polls. Okay? And so if we want politicians to do things for us, we have to be in positions to purchase them, because that's how you get things like the same year it's proposed, the Asian hate crime bill passed, or how Goya pressed Trump to create the Hispanic Prosperity Initiative, saying, if you give us this law, we will consider getting Hispanics to vote for you. So I think our leader truly needs to be our economic power. So Jay-Z shows that in some of the fact that, some of the dudes that he did street moves with back in the, he's a snake, man. Listen, you want to talk about the streets is ruthless? Come to the corporate boardroom. And the way it's benefiting the community is to those who are cognizant of it. They're understanding how the rules of the game. And I'll pause there.
All right, respect to that. All right. No, I mean, hey, we're trying to work this thing out the best we can. I think the questions should be asked so at least we can start narrowing these things down, because I think we do go on about our day a lot and don't even really think about that nowadays. Like, who is our spokesman? So with that being said, so we'll get to you last. Let's go ahead and let Queen get up in here. What you got for us, beloved?
So when I was previously asked this question, which was yesterday, right, I really thought to myself, this is crazy, because I really at the time couldn't think of anyone, but I do, and I did mention Dr. Umar, right?
Okay.
Just because he's a motivational speaker, right? He's an activist. He's actually a doctor, a psychologist. But he writes books. He educates people in the community, the educational system around ADHD and how it's used to stigmatize Black people.
Right.
And I think that's really, really important because he's kind of, addressing the youth. And, that is our future. So, he goes around, he educates. So.
Okay.
I can't really think of anyone else that I would consider, really that influential. I'm sorry. I like music and all that stuff. But I think to be a leader, you have to be able to be followed. He's a person that I would follow, because of what he represents.
Okay. The only thing I would say to that, beloved, is just do a little more research on him. All right, now just leave that part alone. All right, so this is what I got for this part right here, right? So the thing about it is when it comes to who really is in the forefront for us in the community, unfortunately, I can't really tell personally because majority of the people who are supposed to be in the elder stage of life are up here trying to mimic and follow behind the youth. And that's something that I personally see. Not all, of course, right? Not all, but it's more than enough that definitely it puts a dent in any kind of progress that we're trying to have here, right? So what you got for that, brother?
I'm gonna let Queen rock out. I'm gonna go last because I know she just popped up.
Oh, I
So
just said,
Queen,
oh, okay, respect to
I know it's all
you.
good.
Okay, now.
Queen, do you see the question?
Yeah, just give me a minute.
Okay, so I'm gonna answer the question. So I think the leaders of today are, man, it's hard to say that we have one universal leader or one leader that represents us because we really don't. You know what I mean?
Well, no,
It's kind of
not
based on.
one. I mean, if you can name 5 of them, tell me who they are.
I would say Farrakhan. I would say Rizza Islam. I would say Umar. I would say some of the athletes, some of the entertainers. You know what I mean? Not all of them. I would say Braun is definitely up there with it as far as being outspoken. Anybody that's outspoken or anybody who stands up, you know what I mean, speaks their mind a lot about social issues. That's another one. Ali Sadiq. That's another dude I feel like is a leader because he actually speaks on our behalf. But yeah, it's a conglomerate. So yeah, like Brother Rufus True said, there's different aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I mean. That's what I think. That's what I think about it.
I just want to add to that. I want to add that real quick. That's what I was saying earlier, right? Everybody, because we have what we want, right? Everybody has different things they want, and they get. Some people religious, right? Some people pro America. Some people like sports. They feel like everything. It's like that's what I'm saying. LeBron James. I was who I was going through right down the line, and everybody has a different leader. It's the way it is. Ain't no one person.
Yeah, and I can't forget the Christian side either. I can't forget like the Creflo Dollars or like the TD Jakes and all that, because they are leaders to certain people too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we saying the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know, Queen, are you ready or do you still need some more time?
I was just gonna say that I lost my information, but there was a show we did a long time ago about different young leaders or leaders, and there's a lot of young Black leaders that are raising up and stepping up, even not just Black. The young girl, Sunita, I don't know her last name. She's fighting against patriarchal policies of forced marriages. There's Martise Johnson, Haley Thomas, Chelsea Miller. There's a lot of young Black activists that are stepping up and really trying to make a difference. So I think.
Is she still there? You went out if you're still talking, beloved. Not too sure.
Yeah, I think she gonna come back.
So I got this side question before we get to the next question. This is what I'm throwing out to the air because the reason why I'm asking these questions. Sorry. So large part of leadership has a lot to do with what's passed down. So, and in the panel's opinion, would you say that us and the next two generations are too far gone? If we was to put anything into place, do you think that we can do that within us and 2 generations? Or do you think it'll be something that'll be longer to really, really revert this mentality in the way we move?
That's a reach. Money is so influential nowadays that It's just most people are corrupt in the materialism aspect of life. How can you do that? Can you create something more valuable for them to say, you know what, hey, I want to stop chasing this dream? That will be the biggest question. And with that being said, because you have to indoctrinate somebody, a group of people, or any sort of people to have some sort of influence like that, right? And that's why America's so strong, because their indoctrination is already, set in after all these years. You know what I'm saying? So you have to break that. You have to break that first. Then you got to break the indoctrination of capitalism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a reach. It would have to be somewhat of anarchy or something like that. It has to be somewhere America falls in it. And then that's when everybody has to fall back into their race leaders. And then that's when, other than that, if it doesn't happen like that, then it's pretty much a dead issue.
Can you repeat the question?
Basically, with leadership comes things that we pass down. So with us not even being able to really, I guess you can say, hone in on who the real leaders are, the question is, would you say that us and the next 2 generations after us are basically, not doomed, but unsavable? Whatever we're going to implicate and put in place, how long would you say it's going to take for that to really start to show face?
Actually, I think it's coming sooner than later. The reason why is because revolutionaries are not our age. We're in our 30s, encroaching our 40s, and our 40s encroaching our 50s. The revolutionaries were in their 20s, encroaching their 30s. Bobby Seale and them died at like 27, right? They started, SNCC and the Rainbow Coalition and Black Panthers at a young age, right? So what we have things like our generation who have seen things, and we seeing again that marching ain't it. So at the next point, there's going to be another, for lack of a better term, Tupac, because he's going to be tired of seeing them throwing parties and being locked out, right? For lack of a better term. So I think in the next 2 generations, we'll finally understand to move out the way and let the younger generation take hold of the wheel.
Very, very optimistic man. I must challenge you, sir. So you actually do have faith that the youth of today, one, you say that they are the revolutionaries. So the early 20s, late teens, things of that nature, mid 20s. Okay, all right, cool. Let me ask you this: what do you see happening, and what do you see the youth doing that lets you know, yes, those are visionaries right there. They are revolutionary. What in particular? I'm just curious.
Well, there's not one specific thing. It's an amalgamation. Just for the sheer ingenuity. And if you actually stop to have a conversation and see how astute some of these youths are, you'll start to understand, right? It's kind of like our generation and people like Tupac. They looked over the hate you gave little infants fucked everybody facade. But if you got down to it and read his book, The Rose That Grew from Concrete, it was a very deep brother. I have examples of talking to, my nieces and nephews who are in their early 20s. And for the simple fact that, again, in order to be a revolutionary, you usually have to have the time, energy, and effort and willingness. As you reach age, you gain responsibility, wife, kids. Now you start to lose your ability to buck against the system. But those youths have that ability. And we already see that in things like gig economy, quiet quitting, and simple things like folks our age jumping to TikTok.
Okay.
Right? That's the young man's game.
Okay.
Right? So, then you look at what's the little white girl a few years ago who was talking about global warming, the Swedish girl. Right? If we can blow up off of pink sauce, trust me, if there's a political issue, we can actually blow it up, and the youth will make it blow up.
Okay, all right. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. Only thing I can say is I haven't heard a man so optimistic in quite some time. You're actually refreshing. So, all right, cool. Respect to that. Respect to that. Queen, what you got for that? Is she still here?
I'm also gonna sprinkle some optimistic
Go
energy into
ahead,
this
rock
as
out,
well.
rock out. I love it. I love it.
So no, I definitely think that that is possible, especially with the next generation, the next two generations, because the generations they aren't the issue, we are, right? So I think if we start being a change that we want to see, put our egos aside, instill that respect in our children, um, teach them about, even with failed attempts or relationships, we still supposed to continue to date within our culture. Acknowledge one another, and gain that guidance from our parents. I think that is possible. I can't say that I've witnessed anything that the youth has to offer, because I'm not really around like a lot of young teenagers and things like that. But I know that we're pretty much doomed where we are. You know what I mean? So I think that we have to change our mindsets to actually help our children if we ever want to see change. But I do think it's possible, though.
It would have to be. You muted, homie. You muted, homie. You hear me? You muted.
Oh, my bad. Hey, thank you. Nah, I was saying, Soap, what you got on that, brother?
Yeah, I mean, once again, money corrupts. Money corrupts, right? I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
With people making the most money they ever made in the history of America, right? They're clinging to their success as an individualism, as well as being accepted in the society, which at one point hated them or really looked down upon them because of their economical challenges. And this is, the whole total life of most young people who see, right, the athletes or see the money or see the glamour, and this is typically what they want, right? 98% want, right, to move up that ladder and get that dream. So, like I said, I mean, do I want it? Would I want it? Yes, of course, right? For us to become a better nation as a people, particularly Black people, of course, right? Because we do need more structure. We do need more. Like, I really don't agree with America. I don't like the way they do the education system. I don't like the way the police brutality, all that stuff. I don't like it, right? And I particularly am not subscribing to anything that their ideology brings. But I also see on the other side my counterparts on the things that we're so divided as men, right, and women as well, that we don't have any structural indoctrination for us to be able to conflict resolution lies our people, our tribe, right? We don't have that tool because for the love of money is the root to all evil. So, like I said, money corrupts. And long as that is in play, long as that dollar is in play, on top of arrogance and pride, we have to just, look like we're just going to go downhill. That's all I can say.
Okay. That's what's up. I like that. Good answers, and I appreciate everybody in their perspective. So, you want to go ahead and go to question number 2?
Yes, sir. I'm go to question number 2. Number 2 is, what does it really mean to be pro-Black? Oh, Lord have mercy.
I want to know what the definition is, and my disclaimer, right? When I was talking to my homegirl about this as well. So, I really wonder, what is the definition of being pro-Black? Because from what I understand, if we conduct ourselves a certain way, if we do certain things, or if we listen to certain music, anything, it could be anything, we would have our own come up and ask for something I never received in the mail. It's called the Black Card, and they're always trying to take it, right? So what I want to know is, what really does it mean to be pro-Black? Does pro-Black mean no matter what we do, make an excuse for it? Or is pro-black, basically truly wanting the best for the community because you really are proud of who you are. And so I'm gonna open up to my boy Lonzo first. You there?
Pro-black really don't mean anything. It's a way to label affinity fraud, to be honest. Or you could look at it as you want you and those that look like you or your race to be the dominant species on the planet. Even if that's just in particular, like the power position that quote unquote the white man is in today. It happens to be that people of our skin tone are the most populous people on the planet. But that's neither here nor there. But to be honest, it's just the same thing as woke now. It's just a passe term, right? I guess it's supposed to be in your actions. But to me, it has a million different meanings depending on who you ask. But a lot of what I've seen is pro-black people end up scamming black people, right? They selling you some kind of oil, or hey brother, the earth's in the skies and what's today's mathematics and gods and earths, and we the Israelites and go Power Rangers, and but there's never nothing to move us forward. Oh, the white man's there, say you got $5, right?
Right.
And
Okay.
so it seems like like I said, a thrown around term that doesn't hold any more weight anymore, right?
Wow.
But
No, keep going. I'm just saying, wow.
so I mean, that's just like I said, it's a million different things. But like I said, because it could be you want yours to be the dominant population of the earth, right? But that would be considered, not politically correct, right? So, in other words, I can't really, you know what I mean? Like it's difficult to really break down. I guess what you're asking though to elaborate would be more in terms of if you want to hold that term, what does it mean to what are the actions and values behind that, right? So I think the actions and values behind that are, number one, carrying yourself in a certain way, right? One of the things that I'm promoting is something that a gentleman who's no longer with us, who got very popular YouTube fame, used to promote, of black men, which is upgrade your attire, right? Things like we be on the job for 15 years and wonder why we keep getting passed up, but don't realize that we wearing the same gray slacks with a Walmart belt and it's sagging. Maybe if we pulled our pants up and tucked in a little bit, they wouldn't pass us up for the promotion. Little shit like that. Things like the Marines teach you that those small details will be the difference between a mission success and you dying. Right? So those actions and the way you carry yourself, the way you purport yourself, right? Like you were saying, dude, I get told I'm white all the time. I got told by a white dude on a job interview. I went to go interview at Brooklyn Mitsubishi soapbox, right? At Brooklyn Mitsubishi, the fucking Greek dude, this dude's name was Theodoros, okay? Greeker than Greek, right? This motherfucker's name was actually Theodoros. I'm the last person calls in for the interview. He goes, Alonzo? I'm like, yeah. He goes, yo, I'm sorry. I thought you were a preppy white dude. So
now, hold on, brother. Before you go any further, I gotta ask. When he said that, did you feel slighted or did you feel complimented? Gotta ask.
A bit of both.
I love it. Rock out.
One, because I have a good vernacular, right? And that's uncommon for most Americans. But two, because I have a good vernacular, and that's not uncommon for most black folks.
Okay. All right. Well, Let's see. Let's go on over to Queen. All right, because I'm pretty sure she has a different perspective. So, what is your perspective on what it means to pro-black? Because apparently, Brother Lonzo doesn't feel like it really has any standing nowadays. So, what's your take on it, beloved?
Yep, sorry about that, Mr. Alonzo. So my opinion about being pro-black is embracing Black culture, right? I'm acknowledging and supporting Black people, favoring Black people, and acknowledging that we should be doing that because nobody else will. And just building each other up, building power and wisdom within each other, and just embracing our Blackness. Yeah.
Ruthless, what you got, brother? What does it mean to be pro-black?
Pro-black died with the civil rights movement. Once Martin Luther King and them came on their hands and knees, begging America to be a part of their great nation, pro-black died the moment they got accepted in. Because to be pro-black, what it means to be pro-black, you have to be pro-nation of black. And any people that's not willing to build their own nation. See, America was pro-white, right? That's why they had to come take the Indians out, right? Because we ain't gonna ask y'all, can we be a part of y'all culture? Or we ain't gonna ask you, we're gonna come over here, chill with you, figure out your weaknesses and your strength, and take your ass out. And take this shit, because we're pro-white America. And when we had our chance, once slavery ended, and we was free to move and make our nation grow, we crushed ourselves into the belly of the beast, which is America, right? Which then ultimately divided us up even more, because we was already divided on the plantation, right? We was already divided on the plantation. So we come back to the plantation owners and say, hey, we like the way we want to be part of your success. So that therefore means you have to be pro-America, system. So, I mean, yeah, you want to go ahead and brag about being black, and, skin color and all that shit. That's fine. But being pro-black, for pro-black to really truly exist, you have to be pro-nation, right? Building a nation to govern ourselves, to be within ourselves, and to be.
So to be pro-black, you got to be pro-everybody.
No, pro-black. No. You got to be to be pro-nation of your own people, right? So
okay.
You exclusive. See, just once again, that's why they disclaimer. See, America came over here, Indian. They could have been like, hey, we just want to be a part of y'all tribes. We want to learn. We got money. No, they came over because they're pro-white, right? And they were okay. We got to take these guys out because we're bringing in our shit. And we didn't have that same mentality, right? We just kind of just went along with, and once we got thrown out in the cold, we came back begging and pleading. Oh, and they humiliated us. We still came back, So we became pro-system, right? And I mean, I guess if you want to break the terms down as an individualism, I'm proud to be black. If you want to take it there, that's fine. But as a people, right? We are American. All of our people they voting, right? They're if you try to pull them out of America and say, let's go do our own thing, they will execute your ass. So anything to do with pro-blackness, right? As a unit, does not exist as we speak today.
All right. So what you got on that, brother?
Wait, is it okay if I ask a question really quickly?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that I have an understanding of his definition that the gentleman that just spoke. So are you saying that the definition, in order to be pro-black, you have to be willing to go over, capture, enslave, and kill off another group of people?
No. I'm not saying that. But we do have to be ready to protect and grow our own selves amongst our own people. Now, and if anybody's a threat to that, we got to be ready to take it out.
Can I
And
answer
we're
that?
saying that nobody functions like that because it died off with
Civil
the
rights
era
movement.
you mentioned.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Once slavery was abolished, right? There was two options laid before us, right? We could have went on and said, you know what, we're going to build our own nation, in a nation maybe, and start our own thing, and then form our own people, or say, you know, hey, we want to kick it with y'all, because they didn't want us. They didn't openly just say, oh yeah, you're welcome back, right? They wanted nothing to do with us. They didn't want to share the same spit with us, same water fountains, you sit over here, we sit over here. The only reason we ain't kicking you out this country, the only reason they didn't really kick us out and just put us on shit to sit us in the oblivion is because the country was divided on the, hey, no, that's fucked up, right? Because we brought them over here. We can't just do that. And it'd have been almost impossible for us to for them to justify that amongst their people. So they said, okay, let's just let them have their little thing. We have our little thing. And we as a people could not function in pro-blackness. Like, okay, let's do this. We said, no. We want to be fully indoctrinated by your system. We want to fall under your leadership, your guidelines, right? We had to agree to all those things to get accepted as a true American citizen. So that then alleviates pro-black, right? You have to be pro-America to do that.
Can I answer a
So to
question
be
real quick?
pro-black, you have to be pro-American.
What did you say that? Say that again?
No. I mean, I'm just repeating what you said. To be pro-black, you do have to be pro-American.
No, you have to be pro-black. You got to be anti-American.
Anti-American. Okay,
Can I-
forgive me, brother.
Can I answer her question?
Rock out.
So I would say yes, and ironically enough, the evidence is already there in things like our U.S. military, right? If we look at things like us enjoying our overpriced vehicles and our $7 lattes, that requires things like resources. Well, how do we get those resources? We create useless wars in other countries and go kill up, oftentimes, brown people for resources, like they do in the Congo right now, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, to mine for the mineral that creates the microchips that are powering the devices we're all talking on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, we do need that willingness to be pro-black as a nation, because you need to have that willingness to be in order to create a nation.
Okay. All right.
And to defend a nation.
Okay. Well enough said. Does anybody else have anything on that before we go on to question 3?
I'll say this, right? This is my take on it, on everything everybody's saying.
Mm-hmm.
To be pro-black means that we can't fall for the delusion of inclusion or diversity. You know what I mean? We can't fall for the delusion of the bag. You know what I mean? We can't fall for any of these things, right? And that means that we have to be for our people by any means necessary, politically, socially, economically, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Okay? And we got to be willing to do that to the point of death. We got to be willing to die for it. And if we're not willing to do that, then it's useless. Because let me tell you something, if you mess with any of those other people, whether it be Middle Eastern, Asian, you know what I'm saying, French, whatever, you can take whatever other demographic group that, you know, that you know, even if they have a pseudo demographic group, which some people may get offended, but some of your groups are pseudo, some of them don't exist. Some of your groups are just groups that you were given because you were colonized, okay? So that's another show for another day. But even those who have pseudo, you know what I mean, demographics, they're willing to die for them, right? So we gotta be willing to die for ours. And if we ain't willing to die for ours, whether we are traditionally, you know, and whether we class ourselves as ADOS or we came off the boat and now we don't know where we are, or we came from the Caribbean, none of that matters because our enemy don't care about none of that. When our enemy looks at us, they just see nigga. They don't care about if you're from the Caribbean. They don't care about if you're from the Congo. They don't care if you're from Brooklyn. They don't care if you're from the Midwest. When they look at you, they see you as the enemy. Only you care about that. You know what I'm saying? And us black people who are around the diaspora, we're so dumb that we fight over the most dumbest things. You know what I mean? It's like, and Alonzo going like this. It's like if I'm from East New York, I'm fighting with somebody if they're from Brownsville. Who cares? That don't even matter. In the grand scheme of things, it don't matter. So whether you're from Jamaica or you're from Nigeria or you're from Detroit, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because your enemy doesn't care about that. And if your enemy doesn't care about that and he's going to attack you no matter what, then you got to be prepared. You know what I mean? And you got to be prepared, like I said, to the point of death. And that's what being black is.
I like that. Nah, I mean, there is a large part of, I do believe, like, you can't just ride. You have to be willing to die along with it, as they would say. So, yeah, because you're absolutely right. Any other group that I can think of, they damn sure will kamikaze for their own. So, respect to that. Respect to that. All right, let's go ahead and hit question number 3. So,
ooh, do you have faith in our youth of today to carry the torch?
all right. I think I'm gonna start off with Queen Tico on this one right here. Do you?
I have faith in our youth, but again, I think it's going to take us first. Like, it's going to take the education from us being a change that we want to see. But ultimately, yeah, I do, with the proper guidance.
Okay. All right. Respect to that. Ruthless, what you got, bro?
Hell, not. I have zero confidence in our youth. And
Why?
I mean, and I'm not totally just discounting, every individual, because some people, like you yourself, right, have prioritized maybe a way of looking at things to a lens that is more productive, right? But for the most part, you're an anomaly, right? There's no way when the youth with the social media and all this right now, this material obsession with I mean, right now, it's just unbelievable. I mean, the women are just no longer want to get married, have kids. They don't want those duties. They don't want nothing to do with that shit. They want, they do OnlyFans. They're doing what they do, and they don't care. And then you got young men, right? They're just, there's a few that are coming in, under the gated community. They're doing okay, but they're not associating themselves with, lower economic blacks, right? Then you have the lower economic blacks who hate the upper economic blacks because they feel like and then they're just trying to rob them, like Pop Smoke, PNB Rock, right? Coming in and just take that man chain and kill him, right? That was brutal for some shit that they didn't even end up getting, right? So, do I have confidence on you? Hell no, because I think we're headed to a very, and to be specific, this gender war is really suffocating. It's really bringing us to a place where it's a little difficult to try to focus on, just the man side of it, where we can't even get a woman to grow with us, right? Or to carry our legacy on that. That's something that we can build with. It's very difficult. So I'm gonna land it right here to say 0.0%. I have not even a little bit confidence in the youth.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right. Let's see. Lonzo, what you got, brother?
Well, as you know, I'm fairly optimistic, right? I have a lot of faith in the youth, right? Obviously we have the haves and the have-nots, but we've always had the haves and the have-nots, right? Just like you got rich white people, you got poor white people. You got rich black people. You got poor black people, right? You have things like AKAs and Jack and Jill, right? You have the elites and the non-elites, right? So that's always going to exist. Now, what we need is a larger plateau, right? If you look at like Brookings Institute, it said that the apex net worth of a black man was like 148,000, right? And that the median net worth of a black man was less than 25,000, was 24,500, right? Meanwhile, the median net worth of a white dude was 180 something thousand, right? Now these numbers include our billionaires too, right? Like Jay-Z and LeBron James. So to be that low means that we need to spread out more growth economically. And I think that's one good thing, but the youth also is going to pick it up, right? I mean, we've picked it up at a younger age, right? And we're figuring things out. And yes, like
We are not the same. I'm sorry, brother. We not these young niggas now. We just
how old
not.
are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
41.
Okay, so you're in the same age bracket as me. I understand. Like, I don't have that much interaction with the youth, but I have that faith because I'm looking at, I was just there a couple years ago, right? And so if you can pass the insight down, it may not look like it, but these little niggas are listening, learning, and doing. And they're much further. Statistics show that them young niggas got more in their 401ks than we do. So somebody's doing something right.
Okay. I mean, hey, respect to that, brother. Reese.
I work in finance. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, now.
Right? But to interject that is not being used. That money is not being used to the beneficiary of ultimately as black people. Right? That's individualism. Yeah.
Well, if it's their retirement when they're in their 50s or 60s, they're going to be stimulating the economy. Or they can do shit like create businesses, like a lot of us aren't doing.
But what I'm saying is, what he's talking about, the only way you can grow in a country like this at the rate as a people, you have to unify. Individualism don't mean shit, right? You just got a bunch of money. Big deal. Who cares? Because you hate, and then you look down on everybody who doesn't have what you have. You don't even socialize.
No, everybody who doesn't have what you have thinks you look down upon them instead of trying to unite with you. Right now, what it sounds like you're doing is a lot of what's happened in the past, which is naysaying, which is why we don't get nowhere.
No. I'm living it.
Right, you're living a bunch of bullshit that was talked in the past that ain't get us nowhere. I'm living it too.
So I'm living I'm from the hood, I'm from the dirt, from the mud.
I'm from the exact same shit, my nigga.
So what I see is once again, niggas in the hood don't like the dudes that make in our hood. I never understood this about black people, right? When you broke and they got nothing, them niggas love you. Them niggas, oh, that's a little homie, they yell at you.
Well, no, you ain't lying about that.
And as soon as you pull up in something that's nice, them niggas is not speaking to you no more. They might, you be like waving at them, they just looking at you like, looking down to the ground. Oh, like, nigga, what the fuck? I'm just putting my life.
So I forget about them and let's move to the productive ones who are happy about it.
Let me go to the rich people, right? Now the rich blacks, they on these YouTube spaces talk about black culture trash, like they're better than all the other blacks, right? Oh,
well, yeah, I do.
Right? Then how do we bridge the gap if both sides, right, are putting each other down? Then we have no solution. We just have a bunch of rhetoric going around about each other. So, in my opinion, this is my opinion.
We keep doing like I'm doing, and we deflect that back to the positive, right? Okay, so them rich ones is talking, but look, you and I right now ain't trying to talk about the naysaying. We're trying to talk about positivity. So,
now, the positive part of this is I associate with a lot of blacks who out here, right? I bridge the gap because I'm just a cool dude like that. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care this. But at the same time, right, they expose themselves to me as if like they're better than other blacks. And I just tell them, I say, money does not define a great nation.
So that's a class issue. That's not just that they're better than people with money think they're better than people without money. That's across the board.
Right. It's not a class issue, but what I'm saying is because we're specifically speaking of black youth, right? They get their little money scamming, whatever they're doing, selling drugs, whatever they're doing, they think, and then they're taking each other out here at the bottom as well, right? They're telling each other as soon as the feds come in, they want to tell on everybody. At the top, they're paying all these high extra taxes. The fund prison. So it's a lot
Well, yeah, you
of
got a point.
bloodshed. It's a lot of bloodshed right now between the blacks, right? Amongst ourselves. It's just a lot of bloodshed. And a lot of healing that has to be done. Right? It just ain't gonna happen in 40 years, right? Because so much distrust, so much trauma within ourselves, right? That's why they tell you, when you get your money, get out the hood, right? Because then the niggas see you got it, they come take it. So we have to bridge the gap of and heal all those wounds before we can even move forward.
Okay, we got brother Simon up here. Simon, man.
Yeah, I was just making sure that they was done. Brother Simon, what's going on with you, Sir Hectic? Sir Hectic in the building. All right.
Keep it clean, Simon. Keep it clean.
You know that's not gonna happen.
No, salute to the panel. Salute to the panel, man, for real. I mean, I just wanted to say, like, we really need to get off this lean that all black people, especially black men, are degenerates. You get what I'm saying? Like, not all black men are out here just fronting. They're not. We're not in the prison system. Like, we're not stealing cars. We're not trying to get one over on you. We're not doing any of that stuff. Most of us are in our house, chilling. Do you get what I'm saying? We're trying to build something. We're trying to be intelligent. We're trying to get in the books. So, I think, like, that's the message we need to spread to the youth of today. Like, my family.
Country do you live in, sir?
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
What country do you live in?
I live in the United Kingdom, bro.
Okay, so it's different over here in America, bro.
That's irrelevant. I'll tell you why. Because I'll tell you why that's irrelevant. Because, and this is something that is a problem. If you're gonna bring up a black man in any country, you need to make them understand what other countries look like. If you're just gonna turn around and go, oh, this is us and this is our section and this is our little space, they're not going to learn anything about the real world. So when things happen in other countries, you're not going to be able to teach that young black man about the real world. You can't cut yourself off like that, sir. I'm sorry.
So can you get a plane ticket and come
real quick to the degenerate thing, bro. Statistically, what's the largest gang in the United States? Do you know?
The police force.
Okay. What's the largest criminal gang in the United States?
Crips, Bloods, probably the Crips.
No, it's 18th Street, a Mexican gang, followed by the Mexican Mafia, Mana Salvatrucha, MS-13, right? So blacks don't control criminality. So the reality is, even over here, the majority of black men are chilling in the house, probably on 2K or Madden.
No.
Even at 41. Right? Or they're at work. Right? Most of us ain't out here busting guns and selling dope. There's a few of them. But for the most part, we're not out there in all that crazy riffraff.
But see, the only thing that I would have to say to that, now I do agree, right? But the thing is that unfortunately, unlike any other demographic on planet Earth, for some reason, our minorities are the loudest. For some reason, those small numbers that you all are talking about, going back and forth about, well, unfortunately, they represent all of our black asses. Unfortunately. Okay. So I think we need to try to figure out more so, how do we silence that loud minority? Because we all know it's not most of us. If that's the case, just like Soap said earlier, it don't matter where you go, they look at you as a nigga, right? So, I mean, why is that? Most of us aren't doing what you just said. And I'm pretty sure a majority of us here can agree on that, right? Because we're part of that group, right? We're here. We're not out in the streets doing crazy stuff right now. So the thing is that as long as we have that small minority that's like really for some reason the forefront, like would you say most of our women are trying to like really truly live like strippers and stuff? And would you say most of our men are really trying to be like thugs and gangsters? I would say no. It's a decent portion of people like to dibble and dabble, but no, most of us we ain't trying to live that life, right? But unfortunately, the ones who really do live that life, they're the ones who the spokesman for the rest of us. So, but with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Y'all got the floor.
And just to add to that point, real quick, then the people who are, let's say, the rappers, right? Like you said, they're the loudest, right? Their music get played the most. They're like really, really boisterous. The people who are the middle class, lower class, who are living like are the biggest consumers. So they consume this stuff. So once again, this is why I mean it's okay to understand that. Yeah, most blacks don't subscribe to foolishness, right? We are a majority, just trying to make a way, make our legacy, and do what we do. But at the end of the day, we're divided as any nation can ever be in the nation, right? Blacks are most divided. Pro-black thing is out the window. Most of us can't stand each other, and we come on these YouTube streets, middle class, rich, and poor. We're loud. We argue each other. We put each other down. Name call, classism versus degeneracy. We have so much women talking about black male babies need to be deleted. Another woman saying lesbianism needs to be number one. That black men are not capable of love. We got women on here just talking so bad about the black man. And then the black man complaining about the woman. So what do we have here? What does the world look at? They look at these YouTube channels, and this is what they see. This is what they hear. And there's no taking these words back. There's no taking these words back. So
I'll tell you something, bro.
Yeah, we don't, and I'm gonna land the plane, Simon, and I'm gonna let you rock.
I think we got to realize the scope of how far our YouTube reaches, our content.
I'm gonna land the plane. Brother.
One mic.
I'm gonna land the plane. Let everybody rock. A few more seconds. All I'm saying is this, right? Yes, most of us blacks don't subscribe to a lot of different things that other blacks do as far as the degeneracy of the elements of selling drugs stuff. But yet, a lot of us, right, subscribe to trash talking and downplaying one another, backbiting, and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. That is not basically a good forward movement for the black people. I digress.
So you made actually a bunch of valid points there. One of the things, though, that I hear a lot of black folks espousing on a lot of these black panels is, it's a truth, but a weird one that the world sees this, and it does, because the world ends up seeing this because this is what we end up putting out. But the world could really care less about our little space. Right? If you look at like just the numbers of stuff, the world could completely care less about our little space. Hold on, I got a phone call coming in.
Simon, what you got?
I was just trying to sort of understand what was going on, because there was a question and then we went somewhere else. So
that happens. You know that.
Yeah. What was the
Hey, sorry about that.
What was Ruthless Truth speaking about? Do you remember?
Well, I'll break it down. All I'm saying is, how does society do us black men? What we give to them, right?
Okay, yeah, that was it. That was it. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. The thing is society ain't gonna give you anything, and that's what enables free will. If you want society to give you something, they're gonna actually ask you to do something, right? So there's a trade-off. There's always a trade-off. Right. So where are we going with this? The only way to enable ourselves is to turn around and collaborate. and that is also within the free will package. You know, we're no longer in a place where we don't have freedoms and we can't communicate. We've got extraordinary communication passages right now, like email, TikTok, YouTube. You know, we can list them all. You know, call it what you want, but no one is actually taking advantage of it. All we're doing is we've got to a place right now where we're just sort of on the surface level. The funny thing is you know, too much choice and too much information causes confusion. um so what we got to be careful of is it by the time we get our shit together, it may be too late. And I digress. I'm copying Smitty, sorry.
And I just want to, if you don't mind, I just want to say, just, you know, this is the thing, right? And I've been to pretty much every level that you can think of when you're dealing with black people, right? Amongst our people, far as streets to prisons to corporate America, right? And all those spots we fucking fell at, right? We do not have any, I would say, allegiance to our community as a people to represent in a way where we don't have to be best friends. We don't have to be cool by y'all. But we could be more cordial and we could be more professional towards each other. And back to these YouTube streets, you know, all the disrespect that goes on in these places, all the you know, finance, economic disparity that we, all you poor, y'all ain't shit. How much money you got? Anytime a brother loses an argument on these places, first thing gonna say is, "Nigga, you broke." Right? Like, what does that got to do with the argument?
No, that's a fact.
We have it. You know, and the women, you know, Cynthia G, Queen Maker. Wow, I mean, this is embarrassing. I ain't gonna lie. I'm totally embarrassed. That
You know what the problem with that though is, if I can interrupt, is that
I'm almost done, brother. This is embarrassing to me as a black man, right? How we got to put ourselves, not only our women, right, and our men. And here's a chance to build again the bridge on these YouTube channels. This is a communication, right? A place to build. And we tearing each other down. We tearing each other down for free, right? For free. And I'm so embarrassed in front of all America and from all the nations to see this is how black people treat each other. I digress.
Okay.
so.
Go ahead, bro.
As the brother was saying, you know, that is the problem, because dudes do come up here and be like, "Yo, you broke," but the problem is, as like you were saying, as being pro-black, you should be like, "Yo, all right, because a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, right? So if I'm the only rich one that's like me, it's likelihood that, you know, like the young lady said, being pro your kind is usually going to be showing favor to your kind. So like, it's already hard for us to get out in business, and I got to charge a quarter more for a hot dog because I paid 2 cents more for my wholesale than the white guy down the street, right? So you know, that adds up in bulk, right? So little things like, if it was another black man who was doing wholesale, maybe I'd pay 2 cents less than the white guy up the block.
Okay.
Right? And then
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I think you're talking about when you're talking about, you know, it being shameful and embarrassing, because like, look at, like, right, we're talking about old nigga, you're broke. Somebody who could say that to all of us combined is Kanye West, right? When he had his $11 billion issue, and niggas was like, "Oh, well, why don't you go start a sneaker company yourself?" Do you know how many billions of dollars Adidas makes a year? They're like the third richest luxury brand in the world.
Right.
Right? They make like $149 billion a year. That's a year, not for their whole career, like Kanye. So how's he alone supposed to compete with them and distribution and all the channels and blah, blah, blah? And are customers going to line up and buy the Yeezys if they're not from Adidas just because Kanye put them out? And they're going to be substantially more expensive now because he has less distribution. Are we going to really support him? But if we can all come together and actually do that, then yes. I digress.
Well, Well, see, that's you kind of did a segue into this question I wanted to ask uh before I get into the next part, right? So what I want to know is, all right, so let's say you do have a choice to actually 100% put in full place whatever you was going to put in place that would be of a benefit for the community. What would you put in place and why?
Yo, being real, like,
If you're going to put something in place, is it a is it a youth center? Is it mental health service? Is it homelessness support?
you
Battered
see,
women,
you
battered
see
men. I don't
now,
know. If you were to do something, like if you had full support and finances to go ahead and implicate and put something into place that can be of a benefit to the community, what would you invest in and why?
You don't want to hear my plan.
yo, to be real, the investment needs to be in mental health. Because we've tried and tested everything you just listed. You just listed four things, right? I see this in my community all day long. And you could plow as much money into stuff as you want. But unless you're getting to the core of the issue, which you can't, because you can't be in everybody's houses, you can't see everything that's going on.
Right.
Fact of the matter is, you know, we just need to invest in people that really understand things. And this is a political ideology that's been going on for a while over here.
Simon, remember, I want you to tell me what you would invest in. I understand what, maybe hypothetically but you yourself have full
Yeah,
fledged.
I'd
What would
invest
you do?
in I'd invest in a prime minister or a
Right?
president that could get the job done. That's what I'd do. I'd invest in that.
You would invest in a prime minister. Oh, okay. So over where you are, I assume that's a politician.
Politician.
Basically,
Yeah.
the
I mean,
president.
look.
The
So look,
president got you.
how
Okay. All
how
right. Bet.
how do people get elected, right? We're not plowing money into them. We go to the voting booth. That's what we do. We're just lining up and going, yeah, I'm gonna tick this box. I'm gonna tick that box.
So you would help your community by getting a president.
Yeah. So for example,
Okay.
if we were to say, yo, Smitty is gonna be the next president, we got to plow money into Smitty. But then there's a whole job before that in terms of us understanding, is that the right person for us? Because what's going on at the moment and what has gone on historically is the fact that we plow money into people we have no idea about. And this is where the problem lies, because we're voting people in we have no idea about, and then we speculate, and then it becomes a problem. So
Okay.
if Alonzo Hall turned around and said, yo, I want to be president tomorrow, I
Okay.
need to get to know who Alonzo Hall is, right? So
Right.
now then we do this thing that we're doing on YouTube, like in the back end, in the Discord and this, that, the other. We spend a good couple of years trying to figure out who this person is and if they can run the country.
Mm-hmm.
And then we invest in them, like properly invest in them. Because that's how Obama got up in the first place. You get what I'm saying? How much does it cost to become a president? That's the question.
Okay. All right. Real quick. Soap, you want to get some of these comments, bro?
Man, I want to
I don't want folks think that we
apologize.
ignoring them. I got to get used to this shit. So
I know it's
my
okay. I
bad,
want to
y'all.
apologize to everybody because my StreamYard was kind of down. And Smitty, it's all good, man. I know you're trying to, get your bearings. I'm glad Embrace the Grace pulled up. Salute to Sister Embrace the Grace. Salute to Mr. Kareem Bliss Johnson. Salute to my man Daryl Long, Raz Girl, Wally, Lady Phoenix. Who else was up in here? Omni, etc. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that pulled up, man, thank y'all for coming through. Know what I mean? I'm sorry that I ain't been able to pull up everybody's comment. Like I said, StreamYard is having a lot of technical issues in the background. Also, salute to Tommy Watson. I see you in the building as well. Know what I mean? Salute to everybody that's pulled up, man. Appreciate y'all. Much love. We can continue to rock out. Go ahead, Smitty. Let's do it.
Can you pull up this comment? It's a few back. She said she wanted to start an investment, so I can't read it though. What's that say, bro?
I got it. I wanted to start an investment called SIFT, Save It for Trade, to help kids with school uniforms grow out of it, trade it for an upgrade. Okay.
That actually sounds decent. Okay, see? I mean, hey, that's a start. That's somewhere to go, right? Cool beans. What else you got? Oh, okay. So let me see. Lonzo, what you got, brother?
So actually, I will redistribute the population and probably take 3 states. Right?
Hold on, wait.
It's similar to kind of like.
Hold on, nigga. Slow down. Hold on. You taking parts of the country?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
all right. Okay.
It's kind of like the idea of the FOI. 1 second, I'm borging a little bit. I'm in the store. Hold on.
Yeah, I got
him. He said he's gonna take 3 states.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if somebody can do something more than a turkey drive. I mean, he just bust out and was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna take Oklahoma, Montana, Delaware." All right, okay.
Hey, Smitty, he about to
yeah, that's pretty much what I was on, man. You take 3 states, and you redistribute the population.
Can you tell me how do you take one? Just teach me how to get one.
Well, you may have to do what you need to do. Like I said, some people may have to die. It's just, things happen. Right?
Yeah, I'm coming down for that one.
Well, listen, if you got to be willing to die, you got to be willing to kill, right? That's kind of the thing with that. Excuse me, ma'am. Do you have a lighter? I'm sorry. Thank you. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I mean, you gotta have those.
We take it hostage.
I'm sorry.
We take it hostage.
No, that's not necessary. But you said if we had unlimited resources.
To implicate anything you wanted to benefit your community, and you said, "I'm taking 3 states, and somebody may have to die." That's all I heard, bro. I'm just saying.
Thank you. No, but listen. So yes, it's the redistribute. That's why I said redistribution of the population. So
okay, now
you may have to pay for relocation. That's what we used to call it in New York when we would buy out people from their leases and shit. Hold on, I'm passing the nightclub.
Okay.
Yeah, that's redistribution of the population is basically it. So you would take 3 states, and those 3 states would belong to just our population.
All right. Okay. All right. That's what's up. I see we got Lady Queen back in the building. You got everything straight, sister?
Yeah, my thing just died. My computer died. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, it's all good. Let's go back. I'll go back 2 questions for you. So what was the last question, number 3? So
I was you were asking about
what was that?
Leaders in the community or something.
That was question number 1. You want to answer that?
Well, I mean, there's a young lady that I follow named Anaya Dillard, and she's doing a lot of great things in the community. So,
okay.
I think there's a lot of young people, and then there's this was it Chelsea Miller and Niala Idari, and they started a organization called the Freedom March NYC,
right?
And they do a lot of civil rights and policy change activism. So there's a lot of young Black and non-Black youth that are trying to make a difference. So, yeah.
So
that's all.
Would anybody here say that whoever that we would say is today's black leaders, because in my view, I just still think that's a foggy area, and I wish it could be cleared up, right? Would you say that anybody that is considered a leader today is touching on the leaders that we had then? Like, has anybody like not only carried the torch, but actually made the flame larger, right? So to speak.
Can I start?
So we're changing the question.
So I'll say no, and the reason why is because I think we need to focus less on the leaders and more on the followers, right? Part of a good leader is also having effective followers. So that may be an issue in itself. Everyone's trying to tell the leader how to lead as opposed to following the lead.
Okay. Okay. Respect to that. Respect to that.
I think in this day and age, we are too focused on followers, to be fair, and to be like respectfully. You have a leader. You elected him. You elected that person. That's your leader. So that's what you got to focus on. You got to focus on the fact that if you want someone to look different than the person that's in front of you that you elected, then you need to do something about it.
Okay. And what would you suggest be done? Like, what would you say would be at least a starting point that should be done?
I don't know if you wanted to ask me that question, Smee, but yo, I'm saying like we've been around for a minute on all these platforms, and we've been around incredibly intelligent, powerful people. Like, they may not speak in the moment, but they're incredibly powerful people. I've never seen anything like this in my life, and I think we could take it for granted. I've only been on YouTube for 2 years, and I've come across the most intelligent black people in my life on YouTube. So when you're doing all this group stuff, this Discord stuff, this backchat stuff, that's how it starts. Because if you actually go back, and this is what I study, if you actually go back to how the premise of law was created, it was created in a small room amongst 6 individuals who had an idea. So it's really a matter of that this can actually be a turning point. It's really a matter of an idea of going, okay, let's get to work. That's all it is. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Sister Queen, did you get a chance to get all your thoughts out?
Well, I don't think I just don't think that we need to focus on comparing what someone did before to what someone's doing now, because the times are different. Everybody walked their own path, and they're making the impact that they're making. So I think to me, the problem is that there's too much attention on the negativity versus what are the changes that are actually happening. How often do you hear about young people doing things or changing policies or rallying this or you don't hear about that. You hear about Cardi B throwing mics at her DJ or people in the crowd. You hear about Meg Thee Stallion twerking. You know what I mean? These are the things we hear about. These are the things we see. So I don't like comparing. I don't like comparing what people did in the past to what people are doing now, because I think they walked the path that they needed to walk, and my path is going to be different, and the impact I'm going to make is different. So whether big or small to whoever, to the the eyes that watch me, I'm still making an impact, and I think that's the difference.
You're right.
Queen.
It's not about how big it is, you know.
Simon, let the
It's
woman
about
finish. Go
it's
ahead.
about just making the impact and doing something daily to make an impact. So yeah.
Can I interject?
Respect. Go ahead, Simon. You got it.
No, respectfully, I see where Queen's coming from, but historically, it's always been men who have actually put these deals together, who have created the laws, and there's no disrespect to women, like in terms of, I'm just saying, I think a few, I don't even need to be part of it. I'm just saying a few men really need to get in a room and chop the shit up and listen to the women at the same time, so you can create something, because what's coming is something that you're not going to appreciate. Like, you know, I don't even want to go. I'm going to go live and speak about this later, but I'm just saying what's coming is not something you're going to appreciate, because we came from another type of generation, and we're moving into another situation, which is like all AI, everything's computerized, everything's going to be dictated to you. Like, I could trace you right now.
Well, Simon, if it's that bad, why don't you just tell us what it is so we can start preparing? I need to know. Do I need to go get extra batteries, aluminum bats, and bullets and shit?
Yo, the test was done. You know where it was, and we all know where it was. The test was done, so they already sort of now figuring us out, because they line us all up. And it for me, it was kind of crazy to see all of that shit happening. But at the same time, everyone's like, okay, the signpost was the FLU, and it was just like, okay. But we've got all the information, right? We know where you are. We know how to trace all of y'all, wherever you are in the world. Unless you didn't do that. But then you think you didn't do that, and then that's the biggest point. So, I'm just saying that was a test. That was the test. And it was laid out. It was laid out already. You get what I'm saying? And
okay,
if we're gonna move forward, we need to be stealth like in terms of communicating with each other and moving forward, because we don't have the ammunition to compete with these people. That's all it is.
Can I tell a story?
But what does that have to? Okay.
Go ahead, Rufus.
So, once upon a time in the neighborhood, right? The Crips and Bloods say, we're going to come together. We're going to stop all the gang violence. And you know what America did? They dropped more guns and more dope. So this thing called Fallen Leader we talked about, right? And the leader is Benjamin. Benjamin Franklin, he's not even living no more, but people are following him like a statue in the sea. People, it used to be when you was a homie in the hood, you niggas had a lot of respect for your age and how you carried yourself, and they would follow you. Now, it's whoever got the money, right? Whoever has the way to the pipeline to the Franklins is running the show. People follow their wallets. Money is the leader of our communities now. It's no longer pro-black. It's pro-Benjamin, right? Let's keep it 100. We're not being honest here. Everybody talking about all these indoctrinations that are long gone, right? People follow their wallet. That's why a lot of people like Trump, right? They don't necessarily agree with Trump's ideology when it comes to all the other shit, but guess what? They're following their money. Trump makes people money. That's what people want. Motherfuckers want to get paid. So now, unless you're coming up with a way to fund everybody's egregious appetites for the most elegant lifestyle, right, and to line their pockets, right? This is why politics are corrupt, because the rich come in and drop bags to get their way. This is why our hoods, the black people, are divided, because once everybody get their education, get a little bit of money, bam, they're gone. This is why our women are leaving the houses, because now they can make their own money. I don't need a man, right? So until people follow, what's principles of, I'm going to not let money be the leading of my height. I'm going to go by principle
Okay.
of operation. Unless you can line people's pockets up in this day, 2023, right? And I'm gonna tell you how serious it is, right? Ain't no president's been in jail and booked like Trump. Nobody's ever come back from a booking in prison. And this white man is wiping motherfuckers out with
Yo,
motherfucking
Jesus.
police and handcuffs.
So
right?
are you saying that majority of us would sacrifice the preservation of our people's reputation for some dollars?
Oh, now that is understatement, right? We will kill. People will kill you to get that.
Okay, so
You are ghetto.
so if money is all it takes to keep us at each other's throat, and if the powers that be make it and have endless of it, would you then say that there's any hope for us then?
No, unless
Yo,
once
this
again,
nigga ain't
you come
civilized.
up with a form, unless you come up with a form of monetary value,
Mm-hmm.
pay these people bills and give them Birkin bags and the motherfucking Gucci and all that other shit they want, right? You're a lost cause because people hear one thing and people hear one thing only at the end of the
So unless I can pass out reparations, it's a lost cause.
man, they ain't passing operations, boy.
Can I ask Ruthless a question?
Woo.
Go ahead, Simon. What you got, bro?
Ruthless, have you ever had a newspaper delivered to your door before you woke up?
Okay, so I'm gonna just stop there and hold on.
Jesus.
Hold on.
Wait, no, wait. No,
No,
I'm just
no,
saying.
listen,
You know
because
I'm
I want to jump. I want to piggyback.
asking a
I want to
question.
piggyback off of something Ruthless was saying. So I'm gonna just say
Thank you,
uh,
Elijah.
about the Ben Franklin thing, right? When we're talking about things like traditions and we don't even know why we follow them. Do you know why we actually eat turkey during Thanksgiving? It's not because it was the feast of the Indians. It's because that's what Benjamin Franklin wanted to be the national bird. And that's why we have the American bald eagle, because it was a better symbol. But because of that, we symbolize Thanksgiving every year with a fucking turkey, and we pardon a turkey presidentially. Just think about some of the historical things that we were talking about earlier about learning things in school, and some of the things they teach you as to why and what they truly are. But go ahead, Simon and Ruthless.
No, I was just saying because my first job at 14 years old was a paper boy. So I learned a lot just delivering papers to some of the rich folk because I was broke as fuck. I had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and travel on my broke bike, which was unsuitable to say the least. But I learned a lot from these rich folk who got their papers delivered, and they really understood the medium of media. You get what I mean? It's a powerful tool. And at sometimes I snatched their milk because the milkman was around there, and that's what I did. You get what I'm saying? Because I was broke. But the amount of papers they divulge in is crazy, And the thing is what I understood is from all the doors that I went to, they were all on the same page.
Hold on. What, Simon? They was on the same page?
Yeah, they were all on the same page because the thing is they were in an apartment, right? An
Gotcha.
apartment building.
Okay.
So they were talking like their neighbors and stuff. So they have their own thing going on. internally.
Right. For example, if I can kind of curate on what you're
Yeah,
talking about,
yeah,
Simon.
do that, dude.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute myself.
So Mr. Best can probably kind of vouch for this, but I used to live on one of the four best blocks in Bed-Stuy, right, which is Bainbridge Street, but a section between Lewis and Stuyvesant. So,
Yes, sir.
so what he means by things of like people being affluent. So there were a lot of black affluent people on my block. And so there was this club that I attended, and one of the older gentlemen, I was 27 when I joined, and they asked me, hey, do guys your age talk about things like retirement or just the latest Lil Wayne verse? Right? And, that's something that stuff like that is considered boring to us. So I don't want to hear about that. This is boring. Da 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 da. Until you're 55 and on Section 8, and you're getting evicted because your daughter and your grandson had to stay because they had a roach infested apartment, and I'm sure we've all heard the story.
Fonzo. So, and anybody else can answer as well. So, with that being said, what is it about our community specifically that for some reason, real information, learning, wisdom, anything educational, why do we have a hard time gravitating to that more than other races? Again, this isn't all of us, and I'm fully aware of it. But why is that, sir? Why do other cultures and races seem to, for some reason, when it comes to like learning how to build, architect, anything, doctor, medicine, you name it, they all in? What is it about us that for some reason we seem to shy away from that? And we call it, as you would say, boring.
That's not.
And how do we make it fun?
That's not a hard question. I'll tell you something, right? Black people are not about
Simon, I wanted Fonzo to answer first, brother.
All right.
Yeah. And then, matter of fact, you got it next, right after him.
So, it's Lonzo, by the way, but that's all good. But I think one of the issues may be, that's all good. As long as you don't call me bro, right? But no, the thing is, that's a hard question to answer. It's because like I've worked in that field for over a decade, right? Where it's boring, right? But it's hard to make it fun to anybody, let alone black people. But it's got to be something of interest. Like I get disturbed when I see so much interest in things like crypto. I have a love and hate relationship, right? It's great because it's at least getting people interested in looking at and kind of observing charts and seeing how they work, but it doesn't show things like 52-week moving average, so on and so forth. And then with things like investing, there's actually a barrier to entry, right? Generally, you need a minimum of 25K, and if a broker's dropping his pants, 10K. Right? That little $3,500 you give into Fidelity is literally that. You giving them money. You're not actually investing it. So with such a low barrier to entry, it lets anyone in, which is a good and a bad thing, because we've been locked out of that arena for so long. At least now we're getting a glimpse of what it is. So when we get to the real charts, etc., maybe we'll have a fighting chance, right? Federal charts show that ownership of equities and mutual funds from quarter 4 of 1990 to quarter 4 of 2020 for black people went from 0% to 1%. And that's all. Meanwhile, on others, it went from 0% to 3%, and Hispanics from 0% to 2%. From whites from 97 down to 95.
So Alonzo, let me get in here a little bit. All I'm saying is this, right? This leadership shit. If your best friend you go to school with, y'all grew up together, y'all share the same shoes, same mama, y'all always go everywhere, and if I want to take you out, I got to drop him 20 bands, and he will. He'll take you out. That's just how it is, right? So, just so you know, right, this is a serious situation. Money is the new indoctrination.
Yeah, but who really got 20 bands to drop like that?
No, I'm just saying. Believe me, it's happening out here every day, especially in Cali, right? Dudes getting each other taken out. Less than that, right? You do it less than that. 5 bands get somebody knocked off, depending on how much they dislike the guy, right? So I'll just throw that number out there to if I want to get like maybe somebody more professional, somebody. I'm just saying money is corrupting people left and right. Unless you solve that problem, right? Because why? People they seem to worship this thing, right? And this will be the forefront of the future. It's not going to change, right? Because people want what they want, right? And the community, right, of the have and have-nots, whether they have it or have not, the have-nots want it, and the have-nots want more. I mean, the have want more, and the have-nots want what the haves got. So as long as we have that fucking mountain to climb to, that Benjamin, that is the leader. That is who's going to control the people. Whether I don't care what color you are, I don't care where you're coming from, right? This is a corrupt nation, and we're in it. So all I can tell you, brothers, is protect your household the best you can. Try to raise your kids in a way to not fall into this trap. It's very difficult with all the the education system pushing the LGBTQ, everything else community. You got all these different vices, all these different variables attacking your family, attacking your house, right? And to fight this is very, you need help. So as a people, unless we just say, you know what? Once again, let's rest on our morals. Then it's a
okay, you don't need help. You don't at all. What you need to understand is how people work. Like, I'm happy. Are you happy? Because you don't sound happy. I'm
not. I'm gonna say this, right? Happiness is a subjective, right? So I'm not.
But are you happy?
I'm not living
happy?
life on a happiness. I'm living life in realistic reality.
Are you happy? I'm asking you a question.
Content. I am content, Simon.
Are you happy?
I'm
you're
content.
not happy.
I'm content.
You're not happy. You're content.
I'm content. I'm content, Simon.
Cool. All right, cool.
I know that you live in this world where you think that I wish I honestly could bring you out here to South Central for just a week, right? And that you feel how it really is, right? So you can really.
Bro, I know women from Compton, Peru. Her mama Cookie. Come on, bro.
I'm just saying, right? I wish I could just bring them out here and let them see how
it's nothing to do with the other people.
How this money is
you need to be happy within yourself, bro. That's what I'm saying.
But we're talking about a general conversation here, right? I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about generally. This is what I see. This is what I see out here. This is what the community has been built on. The community has been built on capitalism. Period.
Yeah, but are you happy?
You don't realize that? If you can't agree with that,
are you happy?
If you really want to know,
are you happy? Are you happy, bro?
That's the question. They got. I told you.
You said
I'm not
no.
living like a female.
You're not happy.
I'm living on my happiness. I'm living on being content.
You're not happy. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. Hold on. So can you get to the comments real quick so we can keep up with the chat? And
yes, sir.
Some of this happiness, I gotta diffuse.
So our sister embrace the Grace, and thank you for checking in with Grace. You know what I mean? I wish Grace would come up, but I know she's busy, man. I know Grace is busy. She said no one ever brings up God, Bible-based instruction before leaving Earth. Okay. All right, she's speaking of Wu-Tang. I see her. It will tell you what's happening, what's going to happen. Okay. Lady Phoenix says, train up a child. We just got to start children young. My kids plant food because I started them in nature at 2. Reading, tying shoes, cooking. It's not sacrifice, it's life. Ooh, I like that. Now, I mean, she gave a shout out to Daryl Long. Now, I mean, for teaching code for people to show kids. Salute to my man Daryl Long. Now, I mean, Your life is priceless at Smitty's Corner. Okay. So like your laugh, all right. Big Rick Slaps playing, right? So are you happy, brother? Lady sings, giving a laughing emojis to Big Rig. Big Rig says, here he goes, Sophia. Hey, let's keep it going. The conversation is getting more and more interesting. Smitty, go ahead, bro. I'm here.
Yeah, man. All right. So no, real quick, no, Lady Queen, do you have anything you want to say? I don't want all of this to drown you out, sister. So if you got anything at all to say, you got the floor. Is she there? Oh, okay, there she go.
You asked a question about something.
How do we get our youth to be more interested and basically the more important, let's say, career bases in life, right? Your engineers, your surgeons, things of that nature. How do we, because how the brother Lonzo was saying, it's not fun to us. Like learning, education is just boring to us. So,
Who said that?
I mean, what's your take on that? Reads,
Clownage. It is but the problem is that it's not what you see. It's not what you see. There's plenty of Black engineers, kids who are doing stuff, kids who are in tech, kids who are in AI, kids who are in robotics, STEM. It's plenty of programs. I see them every day. I actually refer half the kids I've worked with that are African American to these programs, young youth engineers working on being electricians and all this stuff. So that's not true. It's what we see. We don't see it. We don't see it. We see the little girls twerking. We see the little girls giving face. That's what we see on the computer. So that's what we believe. But it's so not true. Black Girls Code, amazing program out in the Bay Area. And there's plenty of kids that I know that went through that. And that's what they're doing now. So it's not true. There are a lot of kids who are into these programs, but I think it's also what is being exposed to them. That's the problem. It's not that kids don't want to learn or they're not interested. It's what's exposed to them. There was it was viral. There was a young, there's a Black, I think she is, I want to say kindergarten teacher. She's teaching kindergartners financial wellness. They get paid $10 for doing stuff in the class. They pay $2 a month for their seat, and she's teaching them financial wellness. Kindergartners. So there's plenty of people who are making a change. There are, but we don't see it because it doesn't go viral. That's the problem. How many times have you shared stuff? How many times have you shared little things or gone in the community and actually been on the grassroots to see what's going on? So I don't, that's not true. I'm in the community. I work in the community. I'm very active, and that's not true. There are a lot of young Black kids who want to learn, but don't have the resources to be exposed to these things. So
okay, all right,
yeah.
All right. So this is the last part that I would say I want to tap in on, because I believe this is something very important to actually think about, right? So how do we at least change the image? Right now, in my personal opinion, I do believe that that's a quick fix. I do think that that is something that we can damn near do overnight. All right. Now, can we really change mindsets and stuff so much? Maybe not. Maybe not. Some people are too far gone, and majority of us, that's going to take some time. That's all I'll say, right? Respectfully. So what I want to know is, how do we change the image?
Gotta leave the country.
Yeah, go ahead. Who's that? Ruth?
Yeah, you gotta
Go ahead. You got the floor, brother.
you have to change the image. How we do it? Well, we gotta first take rap out of there. We gotta get rid of rap. That's one.
Get rid of it or change it.
Yeah, I know. So why-
Just curious.
You got to get rid of it. Period.
Oh,
So you remember
snap.
back in
All
the day,
right.
Smitty,
Okay.
Smitty, you older, right? You remember how the Black Conscious rap and all that? Fight the
Green
power.
screen.
Fight the power, right? Remember them songs? People
Okay.
just don't
Yes.
hear that shit today. You come out with an album like that, your shit would never, ever, ever, ever break the surface of anybody's ears but your own. So you have to get rid of it all together. Black people have to say, you know what? We're not going to put ourselves out here no more. We're not going to promote this ideology of violence, division, and separation by money. Right? That's how we have to start. Because why? Music influences a lot of people. Right? So we have to agree with that.
Right.
Then we have to then once again, a lot of bloodshed amongst the blacks, a lot of burnt bridges, right? That we have to mend defenses. We have to get us able to work with each other, right? So that then we can look for people how to carry ourselves with respect and honor wherever we at, whether we on the panel or on the fucking corner, right? Respect and honorability has to become the forefront of this
Okay.
movement, right? So we would have to create, somebody who can negotiate and come back and have this conversation in a mannerism of, hey, check it out. This is the only way for us to be great again, right? So,
Right.
unless those things be, at the forefront of the community, right, to change your image, and when rap being number one, right? Because as long as you rapping, right, the world's gonna look and listen. I don't give a fuck what you say. Well, that ain't me. Like you said earlier, Smitty, and I agree with you. The small minority is allowed us in our community, right?
Right.
Because they're playing their music and their way of life on the radio waves.
So let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because
Don't do it, Smitty.
I just because hip hop is absolutely something I believe to be a phenomenal aspect to life, right? The fact is, everybody incorporates some kind of hip hop swag, sound, something all over, right? But my thing is this. So would you really say that what we need to do is get rid of all rap music, period?
Period.
Or should we change the soil in which these trees are being planted?
Oh, so you missed what I'm saying, right? See, you ain't listening.
What?
The money, right? So nobody's gonna pay to hear that shit. So you can do all the changes you want to, right?
I think you're missing it though. Let me finish.
Listen. Unless our people take a step up. I'm talking about black people in a low economic scale to the high economic scale, right? And say, no, enough is enough. We're not giving you guys no more fuel to put us down or to judge us, right? Unless we take it upon ourselves to say, you know what? We're not rapping about this no more. Period.
Let me ask you a question. What is hip hop without black people? Just slow down. Follow me, brother. Just follow me. Slow down. What is hip hop without black people?
It's non-existent.
Okay, so boom. So right there by itself, we have control.
And the only way
that bias, just follow me. So again, when you're talking about we just need to get rid of the music, do we need to get rid of the music, or do we need to get rid of who's running the music?
Okay, now you're trying to get everybody killed. So you got the white people run the music, man. The white people run the music. They're the ones who's delegating the funds to these dudes.
We are aware of that now. So again, we know that. Okay, so let's just say, all right, Whitey's running it.
Right.
What I'm saying is that do we get rid of the music, or do we go ahead and enforce our authority and power being at, like you just said yourself, if we just remove ourselves, it's non-existent.
Exactly.
So do we go ahead and exercise our power and our authority in its proper way not out front bitching and crying and looting our own neighborhoods and doing a bunch of wild crazy shit, but genuinely knowing that, hold on, shit, we all just like, nah, collectively, nope. I don't care what they try to find, charge, whatever. No. Collectively around the board, I promise you something like that can send a message. Now, of course, we all know that's not going to happen. But my point is that instead of thinking about getting rid of the music, I think we really need to go ahead and say to ourselves, if we really have that much power and control because we are the world's entertainment, then somehow or another we should have more control over what we are the world of. You know what I'm saying? We are the world's entertainment. How do we not have more control?
Once again, you're missing, like, I understand what you're saying in a perfect world of utopia, right? But once again, for the love of money is the root to all evil. So anytime that you have something that's so lucrative to a small percentage of people, right? The only way that change could come, right? They would have to really love their people as a whole and care about the direction of our people in a whole is going, right? And that means that would take a sacrifice of lucrative opportunities. And the only way that can be possible, right, is to completely rid of the sort of lyrical, dysfunction of our people. Completely rid of it, right? That's just one step, right? Now, what you're saying is, well, let's change the music, right? Well, you can't change the music because then the guys who are funding you, because average rapper or entertainer doesn't have the economical power to, fuel their own message because, right, they don't control the airwaves. They say, oh, we're going to rap about positive things. We're going to talk about, we're headed for self-destruction. What? Self-destruction, right? We're going to go back to that, right? So unless now, I will give you this, Smitty. I'm going to give you this to your point, and I'm going to agree with you on this. Unless we want to take all our resources together and start our own music industry and put out, the positive message, which you're telling.
You just said it, bro. Like, that's literally, like, thank you for going around the fist to get to the thumb, but we're finally here. Okay, now, that's what I was getting at. If we know that we hold that much power in it, then we should be able to do whatever we need to do on our own. That's all I'm saying. I do believe that by now we got enough bags floating throughout the Black community to where we can go ahead and do something on our own when it comes to doing, anything from entertainment. I mean, Cube has even himself started, with the big three and stuff like that. Like that right there is just a small example.
See what happened, right? You see what the white people did, right? They told them, we're taking this from you. You don't like this. You don't like y'all getting together and having a positive impact. We're shutting you down. We're putting something else in your place. And then Cube, and it's over.
I think there's a lot more politics involved with that, but I get what you're saying with that.
That's the white people.
But let's get to hold on. I want to get to everybody else on the question before we so hold on. Let me see, Fonzo, what you got, brother? How do we change our image? Because that is something that's a quick fix.
No. Unfortunately, like Ruthless said, with the music is difficult, right? Because I see what you're saying about, change the heads of what we're doing. We're that powerful. Unfortunately, we run into the same issue.
Okay.
We don't have enough. There's enough bags floating around, but collectively, one of those Steins has enough money to compete with us alone, right? And so they'll just come and buy us up. And most of us don't have the willpower of Jay-Z or Master P to be like, nah, I'm going to turn down this $1 million 7-year contract. Most of us is taking that back. And what's consumed, for the most part, is not by us. We rarely buy the music. It's heavy overseas in Norway and stuff. So they probably don't want the image out there.
Okay, so I mean, all right, I get what you're saying as far as like maybe I guess I could say piggybacking off what Ruth's saying. Okay, cool beans. But what exactly in your view would be what possibly could we do to change our image at least? What would you say would be one thing that we could do to change our image?
Well, can I hit in there one more time?
No, hold on. Let's go around the board and then I'll let you go ahead and get seconds. I'm gonna let you get seconds. It's plenty to pie full. Don't worry.
Do your thing, Smitty. Do your thing.
All right, respect. Queen, what you got?
I think doing more to promote the things that people are doing to change the community. I think we don't promote it. We don't share it. We don't support it. We don't, you know,
Mm-hmm.
subscribe to it. We say we want change, but when you look at the stuff most people share and subscribe to on their timelines is the BS.
Right.
So what are you gonna do? Like, get your hands dirty, mentor somebody, volunteer somewhere, do something. Stop saying what's not gonna change if you're just gonna sit on your ass and be critical. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. What you got, Ruthless?
Well, you know, see, I really love this conversation, right? Because I like your energy, Smitty. You know what I'm saying? You have a very interesting outlook, and this type of thing I have to go back to Lonzo. Maybe his is a little too, to get taking 3 states. That's a little bit too radical, right? Because then his wife was out. But it will take a group of black men and a great force. Because the only way you're going to be able, any society that is to be civilized, right, takes propensity of violence, right? That's just how the history goes historically from start to finish, right? And it would take a building of an inner fucking army, inner intellects, you know what I mean, to use it in a constructive, forceful way, but yet, we'll negotiate terms that are beneficial for the bigger picture. And that's what we would take, right? Any civil, and because blacks, we're very uncivilized right now as a structural unit. And the only way you're going to bring a civilized community together is a propensity of violence. And that's not going to happen because America's going to get involved. So, with that being said, right, we have to preach a new message, right? We have to get out here and show that we can do this as a people without being divisive, without being violent, without being, against each other. We have to humble ourselves. That's the number one. We got to humble ourselves. And then we got to say enough is enough. Quit embarrassing ourselves.
I ain't gonna lie, Ruthless. I've heard enough is enough on the news about 1,000,000 times over since I was a kid, bro. I done heard enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I done heard that shit. I'm sorry, bro. I think we need to stop saying that because apparently that must be what keeps on having these things reoccur. But anyway, I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out, bro.
I agree with you. I agree with Smitty. I'm 100 with you. And I'm gonna tell a small, quick story. When I was in the LA riots, right, when Rodney King got beat down by the cops, and all the black people saw this before the nation, and only in LA, not nowhere else, right, did we make a slightly retorted effort to, bring some, orderly, some unity. And I partook in this movement, right, because I thought this was a very, time to let's make a point that you just don't touch black people, that you just don't hurt black people just because you can, right? And I got arrested, of course, and went into the county jails. And when I was in there, it was just like the black people forgot all about the movement. They turned on each other again. And I brought that story up just to say, I just don't know if we hate each other to agree that's unforgivable, right? But we got to mend these fences first before we can move to any type of reconciliation. We have to bring reconciliation amongst the blacks. We have to come together.
Well, see, my thing about that though, brother, is just like how you said you wondering if we hate each other. So let's just say, unfortunately, we do. This is all hypothetically, right? All right, let's just say we do hate each other. All right, boom. The first thing my mind would shift into is, why do we hate each other? All right, so is it a mental conditioning? Because my whole thing is, I hear us continuously, we got all the answers in the world as to why we fucked up. Excuse my language. Excuse my friend. We got all the answers in the world. I have heard so many of us break down to a science why this started, and we think of this because back when the slave master used to, and you have to remember, because we're at the center of the equator and this and that and everything else. But then for some reason I'm like, well, how we got all these answers to know why we're messed up, but we don't then now go to phase 2, which is, after examining why we're effed up, why don't we start putting in the measures to change it? Why are we still, centuries later, effed up?
Because the propensity of violence is the only thing that can move this type of situation, which then America will get involved and say, you know what, you're fucking with our money and our cash cows, and it will take us out.
Okay, so
any uncivilized nation, right? The only way you can civilize them is through violence, right? There's no other. I mean, the Nation of Islam came to the hood in the 80s and early 90s, preaching that black power, black people stick together. Then, we had a lot of positive raps, right? We had a lot of people come to so we no longer are ignorant, right, of the atrocities which we suffer in this country. Nor are we ignorant enough to know that, right, that we know what to do at this point. But the question comes down to, Smitty, and the question really, just to get, land this plane, is how much do we really like each other, right? That's what it comes down to.
Right.
We're gonna have to. That's only going to be the curve is. Are we going to really? Do we really hate each other, or do we just don't know how to love each other? That's what it's going to come down to, Smitty.
Is anybody aware that what's taking place on the low is that they are trying to somehow or another not replace, as far as like really, building the railroads, the streets and stuff, through our hard work, but that whole like blacks built this America, they're slowly working on changing that and giving that to the Spanish. Now, we all know majority of places you go, you see a lot of construction. I'm not saying it ain't no blacks that don't do construction, but we all know from that, landscaping, I mean, you name it. I mean, there's a lot of Spanish that do that. And so slowly what's taking place is they're really starting to kind of shift over into, that's who we look to for hard work. Now, of course, that's because us as blacks, we have elevated and we're in better career fields and things of that nature. But the only reason why I'm bringing that up is because now, even though this is a lower, I guess you can say, lower pay grade of job, right, of work, it's something about them being able to actually, with those little small jobs, landscaping, whatever it may be, they genuinely really do start a real, actual good business. We do the same thing. I'm fully aware. But for some reason, when they start businesses, they bring their whole family and everybody with them. Then everybody else starts to build. For some reason, we have this mentality where when we get something going, it's just me, myself, and I. All of a sudden, you got to get yours, I got to get mine. There's no all for one and one for all. So I would definitely say that a mentality shift has to happen. Thoughts?
Yeah, I concur. I think there should be a change in mentality, but I think um kind of to the credit of what Queen was saying, there may be one. We just may not be seeing it directly because often um what everybody is consuming is some bullshit. And so for the most part, that's what we see. So that's what's affecting us for the most part, right? When in reality, like like Queen said, there's mad stuff out there that's being done. So maybe the focus needs to be shifted. And I won't say that that's totally our fault, right? Because, right, like for example, a lot of it is marketing, right? So a lot of it is back to the money train, like Ruthless was saying. Like if you look at the the poster child for a welfare queen, you think of a black woman with 16 kids, right? But if you look at the numbers,
It's
the
not us.
numbers, hmm?
It's not us.
Right. If you look at the numbers show that approximately 42 million Americans that identify as white are on public assistance.
Thank
Do you know
you.
how many Americans are in America that identify as black? Approximately 42 million. So 100% of our population is equal to 20% of white people's population that is on public assistance, because white people are approximately 200 million Americans. 42 million would be approximately 20%. So
But
a
that's
lot of it is marketing that needs to change our images. Go ahead, Queen.
sorry, but that's also shifting because of the immigrants.
Mm,
Let's not even go there. You didn't even touch on that yet.
mm.
They're coming and they're getting housing. They're getting food stamps. They're getting CalWorks. They're getting those programs. So they're getting the housing vouchers. They're getting storefronts to start their businesses.
So, Queen, who would you put the fault on more when it comes to the whole busing them over here by the boatload and the whole nine, as far as everything that these immigrants are getting, who are not even legal, which us and our cousins, nephews, uncles, aunts, and nieces and everything else are having opportunities being pushed aside for us. I did a live last week, I believe, and I was talking about how 18,000 jobs are ready to go for people who aren't even legal here, right? And so I'm just asking you basically, like, what would you say would be best way for us to go ahead and still keep things going for us?
Well, I think we have to be willing to, like I said, go in those communities, and and it's not easy. It's not easy to penetrate distrust. It's not easy to penetrate centuries of disloyalty and backstabbing, and we're against each other, white, light skin, dark skin. It's not easy to penetrate those things. But also, teaching our kids that it's more to life than being a rapper, being an artist, being a model, being, like, try to be a judge, be a lawyer, be a policymaker, like getting those seats instead of always looking at the entertainment, fast
It's
money,
every career
about
that
the
we
bag.
think is fun. Everything that we think
Yeah.
looks and
Well,
sounds like fun.
it's not even just that. It's like, okay, you want to do that, so but what are you going to do with that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can do those things, but are you going to m- you know, make an impact? You know, the I forgot, it was something I saw, and I'm not even going to talk about because I
Hmm.
forgot what it was. But I'm just saying, like, we have to do better at, you know, getting involving our communities in things that aren't as accessible to us, you know.
Queen, who would you put more faults on when it comes to why they're here in the first place? Would you put it on the people as the voter, or would you put it on the government?
Well, you know, my thing is that I don't have a problem with them being here
I
because
do.
of what they're
I do. Sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Nah. Nah. Bump that.
my thing is that um if you're going to help, okay, that's fine. But don't replace one. It's kind of like, okay, this is my mindset. When I think about it, the gist of it, I think about the foster care system. And I think about how we pay people to take care of kids, right? In the foster care system, resource parents, whatever there is. But we don't provide that same kind of support, whether it's financially, you know, housing, whatever it is, to the
Hmm.
parents to get their kids back.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm not saying pay them to take care of their kids, but there were some limitations that they had, which made was I'm not saying abuse. I'm not talking about that. But you know what I mean? Like we don't input enough to foster change. And I know I'm a sick, you know, digress, but you talked
Please. Right.
about what would you do in the community or bring about change, and
Yes.
I would have um a multi use center, meaning that people can learn trades, people can learn agriculture, do community gardens, have a farm, you know, real estate, construction, whatever it is, so that you can be self-sufficient, you know. So that's what I would do. Grocery stores, um,
Okay.
after school programs, banks in the community, instead of me giving my money to somebody else.
Okay.
Teaching, bringing back things in the schools, like what was it, shop, um, teaching kids culinary, or you know, sewing, or whatever it is, trade. You know, and even having a program where you send kids to different countries and they learn how to utilize trash. Meaning, there's people in, you know, I've seen it all on social media. People in Africa, they're utilizing old sandals, the plastic flip flops you wear. They get them and they make stuff from them. People are making, you know, things from banana leaves, like recycle, reuse, like teaching kids how to take care of things. You know, you don't need to go buy the new, you can reinvent the old. So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But I just, yeah, I don't really care who comes here. I just, you know, I just don't like it when it just becomes a scarcity situation, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna give it to them and y'all not doing nothing with it, so I'm gonna take it from you and give it to them, you know.
Okay. Now, Ruthless, what you got for that, man? Before we get to final thoughts.
For the immigration,
Yeah.
but we're learning one thing for sure, that is America's gonna do what America's gonna do, regardless of what we think, right? And they're letting them in because us black people, white people, Asian, we don't want to do those dumbass jobs, right? We don't want to do all that construction and breaking our backs. We don't want to. Black people feel they built this country already, so we don't want to go back to that, right? We want to go in and we want to get the money the more, you know, successful way, quote unquote, right? We don't want to sweat no more. We want to look cute, look good, and get paid, right? So hey, bring them on in, right? This is America. This ain't our country. We don't have no say-so about the immigration, right? Black people are going to continue to move out the hood because we don't get along with each other. And the Mexicans are going to continue to buy them places that we move out of, right? So it comes down to, if we can't get along, what Rodney King said, if we can all just get along, right? Right?
Okay.
Right? If we can't get along with each other, how are we going to expect to build a community? And I hear what Queen forever saying, like, oh, we should have all these different programs. These programs already exist. But at the end of the day, us Black people are moving away from each other, further and further away from each other, because they want to deal with people who are stable, people who not going to try to come take their items or cause the unsafe harm to their legacy and stuff like that. So therefore, we have to, as a people, understand that the best thing for us right now is to get away from us, right? Because we are our biggest problem, right? Yeah, I'm not saying that the government don't do shit like the police brutality, right? But at the end of the day, I think the government don't want the Black people here. Really, truthfully, they still don't like us. They never did like us, right? And the Mexicans, they want to take our place. That's why they opened up the borders, let them fools in, because we can push the Blacks up to a smaller percentage and bring the Mexicans in. We like them better, right? We like them better because we really never really truly like Black people, right? So therefore, they're right in front of our face. After Biden said, if you ain't Black, if you don't vote Democrat, right? Right. He says, yeah, thank you for the vote. Now I'm going to let your replacements in. So until we as a people understand that this government is anti-Black, right? And stop voting, stop participating in their society norms, which just goes all the way back to civil rights movement, right? Unless we understand that, we are not wanted here and we will continue to not be wanted here and stop beefing with each other.
But hold on, Ruth. Let me. So I'm just letting you know where Smitty minds go. So where my mind goes is I'm listening and I'm saying to myself, well, shoot, okay, well, since the government is anti-Black, would you then suggest that maybe all of us should stop voting?
Yes, that'd be beautiful. That'd be lovely. Because then we should. Then now you're getting to the pro-Black, back to the pro-Black thing, right? Right? Because then we get rid of that government titty, right? We sucking on so much. That would be the most profound.
Yeah, because that's what I heard. What you talking, but go ahead, yeah.
That would be greater than any civil rights movement. That would be greater than anything, right? Malcolm X, all that. If we say, you know what? We're not following y'all. We don't agree with y'all. We're going to live here and we're going to rebuild our people, our structure in there and be in compliance and not participate in y'all thing. That will be a foundation of strength and confidence that people will, damn.
Okay, but watch this though. See, this is the thing. I know that sounds and feels very passionate, but the thing is this now. You will be hit with questions like, so if all of us, every single Black on North American soil just said no votes on this next upcoming election, right? How would that benefit us? Because see, I'm not more so concerned about hurting my enemy more than I am about helping my own. So what I want to know more than anything is, how does that help us and or benefit us?
It helps us because we finally will establish our own identity. And how would it benefit us? Because then it would show that we have grown on our own and become an independent people of the government. And that will benefit us in the way that other races will respect us. So when we dealing, and then we also become a more profound respect for each other. Because then we'll say, damn, all we got is each other. Let's do this. We don't need them to build us up. We don't need the all these programs, government assistance, right? We done came a long way that, you know what? We don't need that shit. And that would be historical, that would be a game changer. Because then black people will see that we are something without them.
What race here in America 100% does not rely on the implications of the government in some form or fashion? They are just 100% free.
None.
The Indians from India, right?
None. Don't play yourself. None. Are you in the field? None. Let me tell you, every race participates. Don't play yourself.
Okay, so
they get something. Don't play yourself.
So let me
do your research. Do your research.
I've done my research.
No, you haven't. Because if you say a race, you are completely wrong.
Okay.
Give Lady Queen the floor. Give Lady Queen the floor first, and then you can respond, Ruthless.
Yeah,
that's why they got all the forms in every language. Because every race, every culture participates. It's in every language.
That's a good point.
It's
That's
even
a good
in
point.
languages you never heard of. So stop playing yourself.
Okay,
it's not true. It is not true.
Okay, right. So let me respond, please. The Indians from India, the Middle Easterns, right? Those people, they partake in the fewest of all the things that deal with America. They come with the money from their countries, right? They don't. They're on watch. Most of them on the watch list, right? They are very anti-America. They are very pro-Islam. Yes, are they?
Do you know what a lot of them get, Brother Ruthless? A lot of them, what they wound up getting is financial aid, student loans, things of that nature. These are things that are implicated by our government.
Yes.
You are playing yourself.
Let me land the plane, please. All I'm saying is, right, they are not totally relying on the government to govern their people either. They still got their own laws under their own community, how they do things. They are very...
No. Wait. Ruthless. You were making the implication. Slow down. Ruthless, you were making the implication that we should be 100% exiled, like we should just go off. We should be here on this turf, on this land, but we should go ahead and just be our own civilization. And I was just simply asking you, what race, what culture is here?
Right. So
that does that and thrives.
We can never be 100%. That's just impossible, right? I didn't mean it like that. What I'm saying is just the dumb stuff, right? Like welfare, all this educational help, right? Far as the affirmative action, which they got rid of.
But you all said earlier that there are more white people on it than blacks.
I'm just making a point.
What is wrong with you?
Of how do we reach? I'm not saying that white people, of course, they're going to rely on their countries, right? On their people. What I'm saying as a black people, right? This is our greatest crutch, is that we rely so much on their assistance because we don't think our capabilities are capable to do it without them. There are people, and I'm gonna say it again, the Indians from India, the Middle Eastern people, a lot of people coming over here, and they got their own things. Yeah, they still get loans from the government. Not saying that. They still get certain things, but they are, let's say, 80% functional amongst their people. You don't see, if you look around the landscape, how many Indians you see up there rapping about finance? How many of them you see up here? Their wives walk around with their face covered, their bodies covered. They don't even out here, right? They're still under a whole different regimen, right? Now, some of them, there's an anomaly, right? There's a slip to the cracks. But for the most part, the people, when you see them, you could know they're not totally 100% invested in America. They still have their culture intact. And they're not as much corrupted. Not saying that every last one ain't corrupted, but for the majority of these people coming from India, all these, they still hold their shit intact for the most part. And us blacks, we're totally sold out, right? We're everywhere. We don't have any nuclear family to look at. Single moms everywhere. We over here battling in courts about why you divorcing me, trying to take all my money. We are here using the government as a weapon, right? The women are using the government as a weapon amongst their men, and other men are using the weapon amongst other men. But India, just look at the numbers. The Indians from India, I very rarely see them in the courts, in whether it's criminal or civil litigation. I very rarely see the women out here in the streets showing all their stuff. I'm just saying, I'm not saying there ain't none, but very rarely. I'm like, damn, they ain't hiding all that shit. And yet they're holding that shit down. Because why?
Okay.
Because they are not 100% government dependent. They have in their community that they abide by, and this is how they carry themselves.
Did these other cultures? No, I mean, you know me. I definitely don't be like pulling the whole we oppressed and shit. Anybody know me. But I will say that there is a certain degree of mental conditioning that has been imposed upon us here. So when you're talking about these other races that come over here, they weren't here during the times of being castrated and lynched.
Yes. And I'm not saying that we don't have a history. And historically, we don't have something. But what I am saying, 2023, we have the financial freedom. We have the capability to be an independent nation within a nation.
Right.
Yeah, but
okay.
So but hold on. In 2023, people are still being hung in trees.
Enslaved my people.
The young guy in Ohio or somewhere, he was hung at his job.
Ruthless, just let her talk for a second, brother. Let the lady talk and you get back to it, brother. Go ahead, sister.
What you said was totally ludicrous. First you said no other race, Indians and all these other people, they don't utilize social services. Then you said they only utilize it in a small amount. Which one is it? That's not true. That's not true. If you drive by a local food bank, the line is not us. The line is every other race. They're in line getting the free food. They're in line getting the free vouchers.
I ain't gonna lie, out here is Spanish, so like they Spanish and African.
They're not. It's not us. We're not the ones in the line. We're not the ones getting the free food. We're not the ones getting those things. They are. Every other races. So to say that that's not true. That's not true. They bring their family over here in boatloads and get them support.
You're misunderstanding me. I'm not saying that.
But when we came over here, we didn't have no one. Our family, hold on. I'm trying to finish. Our family unit was destroyed. And it never has been rebuilt. So don't say that. Then you say single moms. There are single moms in every race.
That's my
Just
point.
because a woman who's covered up and is with her husband, that doesn't mean she's not being abused. I've dealt with those too. Domestic violence. They're in the shelters. They're in those programs, fleeing from the men in their culture who beat on them like they're trash. So don't play yourself. Stop vomiting a narrative you know nothing about. You don't know about that.
Listen, I'm living out here in this world too.
But it's not true. It's not true. I work at the domestic violence shelters. I work at the food banks. I work at the soup kitchens. And we're not the ones online. We're not the ones getting help. It's everyone. Everyone gets help. Every race gets help. Every race. Every race.
You've been disingenuous right now.
So stop vomiting a narrative that's pushing us back 100 years.
So you just want to just flow out like I'm not. You're misrepresenting what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
No, you represent what you say because you don't know what you say.
Don't you know how to compose yourself?
Do you?
Let him finish, Queen. Let him finish.
Watch yourself.
Queen, let him finish, Queen.
All I'm saying is this. You misrepresenting what I'm saying. I'm not saying that other races don't get help. What I'm saying is, as a black people, I'm championing our capabilities. This is my point, that it is possible to become less government dependent. It is possible. We have the resources. We have the minds. We have educated black people and all sort of things. We do have the capability to be less government dependent. That's my point. That is my ideology, right? That we are a people with great potential, right? We have people we can compete with any race in intelligence, in athleticism, we got very elite blacks in this world that is vicious. So I'm not really giving a fuck about the other races. My race, right? I'm boasting in that we have all this great potential. We have all these things intact now because this is no longer 1806. This is no longer 1970. This is 2023. Black people hold 8% of the wealth. They are in a position right now where they can become less government dependent. This is my plight. Now, if you got a problem with that, Queen Forever, then I don't know what else we can talk about here. But I believe my black people, brothers and sisters, if we can pull this shit together, we can become an elite people within this nation without being government dependent at such a high rate. That's all I'm saying. I divest.
Okay. Well, I mean, look. Look, man. All right. So I'm not even against what you're saying or nothing, Brody. It's just that I do see that there are things that are key specific to us. And my only spiel on that whole thing would be, I wouldn't necessarily use how other cultures, are able to like do this and do that, considering we clear as day do see that. I mean, and it's just a fact, bro. Like, folks can come over here and have nothing. Like, I'm talking about no citizenship, and then still get what those of us who are legal citizens here, black, white, whatever, and lap us. It's crazy.
Right? Just to interject with that, from me, I'm in Cali, right? I'm in Cali, Smitty. I'm here with all the Mexicans, okay? And you know what they do? At the end of the day, for the greater good, they come together, 20 of them in the house, 30 of them in the house, and put all their resources together and fight, okay, their way into economic places.
You think we're gonna be living like eight in the house?
No, I'm not saying we need to do that, but what I'm saying is this is why they're able to come over here and be things, because they will band together for a moment, and to get to where they need to get to, they will give each other a hand and pull each other up. Now they divide later, because then once they get to wherever they get to, they want, I'm on my own. But
what did you say they do on the way up?
Like the Mexicans come over here, right? They 20, 30 of them in the house. They people get in their houses together. They live there, they pay rent. All of them paying chip in. They got. You can see them all around, but they don't. But you really don't see them violence toward each other. You don't really see them going against you. Now I'm not talking about the American Mexicans. I'm talking about the ones that coming over who are illegal and But
what did you say that they do, Ruthless?
They stick together in hard times.
You hear that? Oh, one more time. They stick together
in hard times. Well, black people in hard times, we go against each other. When another black person not economically challenged, the first thing we do is, motherfucker, you broke, you ain't shit.
We're aware of that part, brother.
I'm making the point. The messages come over here, right? The illegal, they get up in the house together, and they go work the jobs that we don't want to work, right? The cutting grass, selling food on the corner, roses, all that stuff, right? Every penny count. And they get it done. The Asians come over here, right? They get education. That's their main thing. They get all their kids in, and they make sure their kids are educated. They fund their education. They make sure they support their kids' education. And then they go get jobs. And then this is how they build their legacies. This is what they do. This is history. Asians will get an apartment together. All of them will pile up in there and go to school, right? All of them pile up in there and go to school, and then get to the bag. So we, as a people, when we get economic success, or we see our people down, we say, "Oh, y'all niggas ain't shit." And then the people who are down say, "The people who are making it, are y'all sellouts." So once again, unless we back to the get along game, right? Unless we be able to reach up and help each other in a way where it's not always got to be nigga, you ain't got shit, you ain't shit type of attitude. Then
Ruthless. So once upon a time we did that. It was when we when we had to sleep in barns. We did that at one point, right? And even I would say, back when we had more children, because like, for example, on my mother's side, my mother's number 2 out of 7. My father is number 8 out of 9. Right. So I remember, going to some of my relatives' house, and it's a bunch of my cousins and aunts and uncles and things of that nature. And I totally get it. But would you not say that we have elevated past that part? And would you not say that those who may live like that is because they are on what we used to be, which is called ground zero?
Well, we haven't elevated that because we can't even capitalize on these YouTube streets. Right? The simplest thing, easy. These YouTube streets, this YouTube has been a bridge, right? A chance in the fifth, because you're way where you at, I'm way where I'm at, and we can have the conversation. And yet, as a people, we on here failing already. We're in 2.5 years in, right? And we're already divided even more than we was when we first started, right? People are down at everybody. Everybody's talking shit on each other, right? Everybody's clicking up. So therefore, how can you master the greater thing when you can't even master the simple things? How can you move to be the greater good when you can't even?
We don't need to. Go ahead.
So in essence, right, when I'm saying the Queen forever, all I'm saying is how we carry ourselves out here, how we deal with each other out here as Black people. We can be better. We can be better. Respect is free. Respect is free. Right? Honor is free. That you can't buy. That you can't purchase. Right? What we need in our people is some sort of fucking revelation of like, you know what? Let's get it done. Let's get it done. We got all these excuses though. We got all these excuses. America, America. No. Farrakhan, they've already came to the town. It's over with. They came to the town and said, let's be Black. Right? It's over with. We don't have no more excuses. Leaning on the past. Now we got to move forward. Listen, any great relationship or any great country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Comes with being a part of the greater good and moving forward to reach conflict resolution, to accomplish the things as a people for us to sustain our legacy, to sustain our type of way of living, is to come together and be cordial and respectful and honoring the total legacy of the Black race. And until this happens, if people do not value the Black race, I'm talking about the Black people, unless Black people start valuing their own race of people, and valuing the very things that we complain about what the government do, and bring it all together full circle in our communities, then we're a lost cause, man. We can sit here and blame the government. We can sit here and blame all we want to. Look in the mirror, brother, and let's get this shit together. If not, I got my guns, you got yours, and we can just stand off in the middle of the motherfucking street.
What would that solve?
Just making a point.
I mean, are you talking about with us, or are you talking about stand off in the middle of the street with like anybody else?
It was just a that was not a literal, right? It's just more.
No. I get you. I get you, brother. I understand. You just speak kind of metaphorically. Analogies and shit. I get you, brother.
Yeah.
No, I mean, just all right. So landed on this part, right? So it's like, all right. So again, the main question that I was asking in this original form was, how do we fix our image? How will we change our image? Because if you think about any group that's come over here, a large part of why they get anything in their name written off for them, so on and so forth, in cooperation, is because the image of the collective of them is actually taken seriously
Thank you.
overall.
Thank you, Smitty. Thank you. That's my point. That's my whole point. Yeah, some of them get government assistance. I'm not saying they don't, but for the most part, right? The Asians make more as a household, education-wise. They make more than white people.
Right.
Make that make sense. They make as a household to household. Asians are the number one leading in economic success when it comes to going to work and bringing their money in and making it work and building their legacies over the white people. So I don't want to hear what we can't do. I want to know what we're going to do. Like any great nation moves going to move forward with power, with strength, and with structure. And until we get that understanding, right, that money ain't everything, that, trying to show off in front of the white people ain't everything, right? Trying to show off in front of the other races that I'm better than this black man. Look at me. Y'all need to look up to me because he ain't shit, but I'm shit attitude. Then we're fucked.
Okay. All right. I love it. So let's go ahead and get final thoughts on this. I appreciate everybody for coming out this evening. This has been an awesome show. All right. Let's go ahead. I wouldn't be a gentleman if I didn't go with ladies first. So what you got for us, Queen? What's your thoughts on the show? And anything you want to end off with?
Thank you for the show. It's great. Great conversations. I just think we need to just find our group who's gonna want to make the change. We want to make the change and start small in order to grow big. That's it. There are plenty of people out here who are doing amazing things. I can't change the whole neighborhood, but I might be able to change the apartment complex. I might be able to change the block. So that's what I do. I work small in order to make big changes. So be patient with the process. Don't give up. Don't get frustrated, because this is embedded in us. We are seen as each other's enemy, no matter what anyone says, and we function in a scarcity mindset. If I'm at a job, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to refer my cousin. I'm not going to refer, but all those other races, like everyone keeps talking about, they refer sisters, aunts, uncles, and before you know it, they the whole department. They don't care. They don't see each other as the enemy. They work well, and that's unfortunate. But this was embedded in us that we are each other's enemy, and we function like rats trying to get that one piece of cheese instead of working together, understanding that there's a whole cheese factory behind us. So move slow, make your impact.
Beautiful. I like that, and I appreciate that, sister. Much respect to you. What you got, Rufus?
I'm going to make this nice and sweet.
No, you're not. We're going to be here for a minute. Go ahead and say it, Rufus.
Unless, the one thing I learned in this world, right? I remember one time the Hispanic culture challenged me, right, as a leadership position. And the one thing that I've surprised all my homies about, right, was my propensity to go to war with them, to keep what's mine, respect, regardless of the consequence of what can happen or the outcome. And that right there was where I rose in the great leadership positions. So once again, I know what the Black people are capable of doing. Right? I know that we are elite in thinking, intellectually. I know that we know how to be cordial, respectful. I know that we have a lot of gifts, right? we have a lot of potential. But all that ain't shit if we do not understand the difference between morality and fighting for the greater good. And with that being said, to my black people, we're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't end us off on a verse. Don't end us off on a verse. Nah, but okay. Definitely, man. Respect to that. And I appreciate you coming through, brother. Anytime, man. What I know we should be doing this every Saturday at 8 o'clock. So just go ahead, stop through anytime. And I appreciate you coming up, man.
I think it's our first time. Well, it ain't our first time meeting.
Of course, I already know that, bro. I know that. I'm just saying thank you for coming up.
Yeah, we had the conversation. This is our first official. I'm gonna officialize this conversation. That you really
Respect
got
to
to
you.
challenge my intellectuality, and I got to hear your intellectuality, and we did get somewhere, right? We do understand one thing for sure, and we both can agree at this: that it takes a united effort to be great again.
Well, on a more basic level, I would say with this right here, I was just simply raised that man respects man. So it's real easy with me when it comes to that. Respect gets respect, you see. So you do have to earn it when it comes with me, but how do you earn it? Simply show it, and thus it shall be received back unto you. You smell me now? So it ain't, you know, and it's not something that's very difficult for us to do. You know, just basic, simple, you know, humanity of respect, right? So with that being said, man, I digress. My mic is muted. So you got the keys. You can lock up. All right. I'm going to the car.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for all tuning in, man. Thank you. God bless you. Good night. Like the old Russell Simmons quote. All right. No, but real, man. Thank y'all for coming through. I really appreciate y'all. All right. This is episode 2. Okay, of the Intellectual Smitty's Corner. We'll be back next Saturday, Lord willingly. All right. And thank you for everybody for showing support, man. Definitely love y'all and respect y'all. With that, we are out. Let me find that outro. There you go.